Good afternoon everybody and welcome to the stream. I'm Robert from the El Magnifico Games channel and today we're going to continue with our playthrough of Shardlight. Now last stream was quite eventful, wasn't it? We began the stream having just joined the Rebel Resistance, I believe, and not that long afterwards the rebels were attacked, we were thrown in prison, and after we broke out, we unfortunately discovered... No, after we broke out, the establishment went after Denby, and though we tried to rescue him, unfortunately he was killed. So things weren't going all that well for Amy. She was then, in trying to flee from the area, attacked. She managed to kill her pursuer, but not before she took a potentially fatal wound herself. And then the Grim Reapers showed up, loomed over her, and then she woke up 3 weeks later in a bed, which she'd been taken to at Pop's house. I believe it was Gus that was also there with her at the time. Since then, she went to the Church of the Acolytes of the Reaper to try and make sense of her vision involving the Reaper. And she's managed to, after taking a hallucinogenic substance, she's managed to connect all the dots in her head, and she's realised that it wasn't actually the Reaper she saw, but a doctor who was wearing a plague outfit, so far as we can tell. She's also realised that the ravens with the red glowing eyes, surprise surprise, aren't actually real ravens. They must be some form of animatronic raven, which we suspect have cameras built into the eyes and are presumably used for surveillance and spying. Certainly the stories about people dying shortly after the red-eyed ravens appear is concerning, if that's true. Well, I suppose it'd be concerning anyway, but it's concerning in a very specific way. We can really nail down why it's so concerning now, which we couldn't before. So she also wants to find who it is that's controlling these ravens, because on at least one occasion a raven has saved her. And generally speaking, these ravens, as far as we can tell, have her best interests at heart. So that's a bit weird, because as far as Amy's aware, she doesn't know anybody that would be powerful enough to be able to run a network of animatronic ravens. The only person we can think that, like, conceivably might have been up to the task, and this is a stretch, is maybe her father because he was a mechanic, but there's a big difference between fixing a car and creating an animatronic raven with working cameras so lifelike that a ordinary person couldn't tell the difference if they didn't know that ravens don't have glowing red eyes. But he's supposed to be dead, so that seems unlikely. Died to green lung, which Amy has, by the way. I didn't mention it in the recap until now, but at the start of the game we find out she has green lung and that she is not long for this world. That's what got her onto the lottery jobs in the first place that began this whole series of unfortunate events. She has been vaccinated, but the vaccinations apparently only last about a month, and that was 3 weeks ago. So she's due for her shots again at some point, but she's also a fugitive and an outlaw at present because the establishment want her dead. So yeah, that's where we begin this stream. Not the ideal situation, but we'll make the best of it. Let's get into it. Oh, hold on. Just give me 1 second. I was going to write something down so I don't forget. There we go. Sorry, it's not to do with the game, it's just something I want to make a quick note of. Right, let's get into it. Oh, you've got your favourite colleague with you today, Jenny. I won't say their name because I don't want to dox them, but I think I know the individual you're referring to. Right, what have we got? The Salt Flats. We could check out the train, see if anything's changed with that. The train from which earlier in the game we heard singing. There's the reactor entrance, the market district, both halves of the market district, the Cathedral of St. Stephen, and Pop's Farm. So I'm going to suggest the first thing we do is we re-explore some of the areas we've been before to see what's changed. Because we've got a few tasks right now that we need to do. We were going to try and hack into the PA system so that we could announce to the public what's really going on. We were going to try and get proof of the vaccine hoarding, which is going to be challenging. We know they've been hoarding vaccine because we've seen it with our own eyes. But the problem is, if we just tell that to any person on the street, there's no reason they should particularly believe us. We need more credible evidence, but how we're going to gather that, I don't know. Find out who's controlling the ravens and find the doctor. But yeah, none of those are going to be straightforward things. So I recommend we head back to the Resistance so that we can tell them, if they're interested, our experience at the at St. Stephen's. And then we'll go from there, I guess.
Danton?
What is it, Amy?
Time for me to go. Be careful.
If you need a place to hide, you can always come back here.
Okay, that wasn't so productive.
I'm not the landscaper. I'll leave the weed pulling to someone else. It's good to see at least some plant growth in this area, even if it is just a bunch of weeds.
Oh, do we not have access to our house? We don't even have access to our own house. So based on the places we do have access to, and several of them we've explored already, I feel like the next bit of progress is probably at the Salt Flats. I just can't think of anything else that we're able to do right now that would be productive. So assume there's a discovery here, maybe the door's unlocked?
It's locked. How odd.
No. Oh, I forgot about that. I completely forgot about this. Painted over a period of 6 weeks, White's portrait of Lord Reginald Twinner's daughter was his last major piece before turning to a career in medicine. We had a theory that could have been the doctor that saved us. There's a slim possibility they're also the person behind the ravens, but we've got no reason specifically to believe that. Renowned for the expression in her face, White admitted that the lady's eyes, I think that's probably eyes, concealed some secret. What that may be has been the subject of much speculation. One of the better known modern portraits remains in the Twinner family private collection. I forgot about that. That was the page of the book on art that we discovered had been torn out at the beginning of the game, but we had no idea what the missing page was. So we should bring that back to Nelson and see what he has to say about it. I'm trying to remember where we found that. I know we found it in an odd place. Where did we go last stream? Well, particularly at the end of last stream. So we broke out of prison. We met up with the Resistance. We tried to rescue Denby. Unsuccessfully. I can't remember for the life of me where I found that page.
Hi, Nelson.
Amy, you shouldn't stick around too long. The guards have been looking for you.
I'll see you later, Nelson.
I'll see you later, Nelson.
Be careful, Amy.
Let's offer him the page.
Nelson, does this mean anything to you?
Ah, yes. That page is from one of my art books. There was a young lady here several years ago who was reading it, and when she got to that page, she became very upset and tore it out. Ran off, screaming about the Reaper. It was very odd.
The Reaper?
Yes, I think she said something about having seen him. As I said, it was many years ago. It's difficult to remember.
That's fine. Thanks for the information.
So we probably found that at St. Stephen's then. I must admit, I don't remember when we picked it up. Wait, did we get it off of the Raven? At the well? Not the well, the fountain, sorry. Out here is where I meant. There was a Raven at the fountain, if I recall correctly. I think they might have had the page. Let's see what Jess has to say about it.
Hey, Jess? Does this mean anything to you?
Where did you get that?
Raven brought it to me. I know that sounds ridiculous, but...
No, not at all. That painting, it's what started all of this. This is clearly a sign from the Reaper.
I'm not quite following here.
18 years ago, I was keeping my friend Wilson company while he was on a lottery job for Tiberius. He had been sent to fix a water pump, and the ruins of the building it was in had a copy of that painting. When he had finished the job, I asked him to get it for me, and...
And?
Apparently, Wilson had green lung, but hadn't told me. He said he was getting the vaccine for his sister. I saw a Raven right before Wilson collapsed. The Reaper appeared shortly after. He came to claim Wilson's soul. That's when I had my epiphany.
Where did this all happen?
It was in Sector 67, in a collapsed building next to a parking lot.
Huh. It's a long shot, but it might be worth investigating.
I can only hope the Reaper visits you so you may find peace.
Yeah, thanks.
Right. That's an interesting lore dump. So Wilson. Former friend of Jess. Died of green lung. Jess saw the Reaper. Tried to steal Lady Twinner. Or is that Twiner? Probably Twiner. Lady Twiner portrait for Jess. So, now, if someone was controlling the Ravens, I could believe that they may have set up base in Sector 67, I think she said, and that this was a cleverish way of luring Amy to them. The bit that I'm finding hard to believe about that, though. Oh yeah, it looks like it's in the rich part of town. Actually, no, not all of this is rich, is it? This is more the rich area. No, where was the rich area? Was it over here? Doesn't matter. Anyway, I take back what I said about this being an affluent area. I'm not sure it was. Yeah, the bit I find hard to believe about that is how would the person controlling the Ravens know about Jess's history and know that returning that page would lead Amy to them? Because it's very specific that Jess had asked Wilson to get her the portrait, and it was shortly after that that Wilson died and Jess saw the Reaper and all that. How many people would have known about that? And also, it seems he had the exact page that Jess tore out all those years ago. Again, what are the chances of that? How would he have found the page? We don't even know what Jess did with the page after she tore it out. Very odd. Yeah, it doesn't look like a particularly affluent area, does it? I mean, even before the bombs dropped.
It looks like an old record player.
Interesting. Why can I interact with it?
Completely ruined. It's of no use. This is still in really good condition. It might be worth having.
That must be why. Record arm.
Completely.
Huh, maybe we'll be fixing a record player at some point.
Huh. An old German model. The aristocracy must have missed this one during the Purge.
The Purge? That's the first reference we've had to The Purge. Was this when they were consolidating their power the first time? Shortly after the bombs dropped? We don't actually know how many years later, but we're only 20 years after the bombs dropped, and the aristocracy seemed pretty well entrenched, so I assume it wasn't long after the bombs dropped they took power. Or was this after the first rebellion attempt? The one which only Amy's father and... was it Milton survived? Yeah. Cooper was her father, Cooper Wellard. The Purge. Missed German vehicle. Aristocracy. I mean, why would a purge in the conventional sense of the word involve taking vehicles, particularly German ones?
A Dunstan Algonquin. Cheap and reliable, but not the most fun to drive. Or so I've heard.
That's a point. You were 5 years old when the bombs dropped. So despite the fact you've been working for a very long time to try and restore the car that your father owned as like a personal project, during the last stream at the end, she accepted the fact that will never happen now. She has more important things to do. But despite all this, you presumably have no idea how to drive.
Doesn't look like he's been here that long. Poor guy.
Doesn't look like he's been here that long. That's interesting. Why were there people in this area recently? And what did he die of? Is that green stuff supposed to indicate green lung? Or is that just, you know, like he coughed up green stuff just before he died? Or something else?
Just another victim of the wastes. Looks like he's been here for decades.
Well, it can't have been more than 2.
I really hope I don't end up like this.
The portrait. Water
An
pump.
old water pump. Kind of reminds me of the reactor in Sector 82. It seems to be running fine.
Something behind the portrait?
There she is. Lady Twiner.
It is Twiner.
There are a couple of weird bulges here, as though there was something hidden behind the eyes.
Oh. Cameras, presumably.
The face is incredibly lifelike. I almost expect her to start talking to me. What's wrong with her eyes? So this is Lady Twiner. I wonder who she was. It definitely feels like there's something behind the canvas, but I can't rip it with my bare hands.
The record arm? Scratch it?
I don't see how I can use that there.
Crossbow would seem overkill.
Just a memory of whatever this building used to be.
If there were cameras there...
It feels pretty smooth. I don't think this is an original version of the painting.
Oh. But why does being smooth indicate that?
Poking this painting would just damage it more.
Interesting to know it's not an original, but I'm not quite sure how you came to that conclusion. What was I thinking? So I guess we should try to acquire an object we could use to damage it with?
Another old road sign.
The
Doesn't
eyes?
look like people could go very fast around here. I probably shouldn't mess around with that.
What I was thinking is if there were cameras there, you'd have thought, and the person was the same person responsible for the ravens and they're interested in Amy, you'd have thought her just turning up and looking at the portrait would be enough to trigger something. But apparently not. Wait, did I just see a stick? That may be what we need. I can't seem to pick it up. Can't open the car up?
Nothing useful. Looks like all the oil leaked out of the engine a long time ago. Nothing useful. This corpse is missing its left arm. I wonder what happened to it.
Perhaps that individual just lost their left arm in life. Perhaps they didn't have one.
I don't think I should get too close.
Fair enough. She says, and then walks within a foot of the body. Wonder what happened to Gordon. He wasn't, I don't remember anything terrible happening to him.
Attention citizens. Anyone with information regarding the
Oh dear.
whereabouts of one Amy Weller is encouraged to report to the Ministry of Energy.
It's not like Gordon would just leave his stand. I wonder what he's up to.
That's what I was thinking. So that confirms it. Nothing terrible happened to him last stream that I've forgotten.
The aristocracy strives to keep you safe from those who would destroy our way of life.
It's pointing into the alley, and it says Clem's Crockery.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. Clem didn't make it.
This old heap has certainly seen better days. It's in no condition to be operated, and it looks like it's already been completely scavenged for parts.
Interesting they never find a use for the outer bodywork. You'd have thought sheets of metal like that would have some good uses.
Hello, Marishka.
Amy, get away from here. Guards are looking for you. Be careful.
Thanks for the warning, Marishka, but I'll be fine.
Please go, Amy. Do not stay here.
I'm surprised this thing hasn't been chopped down for firewood yet. I don't think I need any more salt.
I'm at a bit of a loss then. I'm not sure. I suppose I could try the crossbow on the painting. I mean, if I had a bolt, a single bolt could be useful. 'Cause that'd be like a pointy bit of metal.
My trusty crossbow. I've got one bolt.
Okay, we could try that. I don't know of a way of unloading the bolt though, so I can select it individually. Wonder if there's going to be a bullseye joke.
I don't see how I can use that there.
Nope.
I don't see how... I don't see... There are a couple of weird bulges here, as though there were something hidden behind the eyes. It definitely feels like there's something behind the canvas, but I can't rip it with my bare hands.
Am I misunderstanding? Is the goal here not to rip it? Wait, broken glass, of course.
Shouldn't get too close. The last thing I need right now is to cut myself.
Well, you say that.
I don't see... I can't just go around shooting everything I see. I have to conserve ammo.
Well, I was thinking more you just use it as a way to smash some more glass off. Using it as a melee weapon, not load it with a bolt and fire at it.
This corpse is missing. It seems to be running fine. An old water pump. Kind of reminds me of the reactor in Sector 82.
That's obviously pumping water somewhere, which is very interesting. Could be to the place wherever the person looking through the painting is, assuming that's what's going on with the painting.
It feels pretty smooth. I don't think this is an original version of the painting.
So I wonder if the doctor, the person behind the ravens, and the painter are all one and the same. Montgomery White. I don't see how it's possible to progress unless I'm missing an object. I suppose if there was something I could do to the water pump.
I can't just go around...
Yeah, I agree. Why just attack a water pump? That makes no sense. I do have the record arm. Don't know who would want it though. Or what would use it for.
Everything going okay out there?
I'm not dead yet.
Any objects here I could take, which I missed?
I'm pretty sure that used to be Gus's old toy chest. Pop's wedding photo. They look great. I've always liked this one. It's Gus and his mom when he was about 6 months old. This one is of me and Gus. We can't be any older than 4.
Oh, so you're about the same age. Interesting. So Gus was
See
also
you guys later.
Take care of yourself out there, Amy.
so Gus was also about 5 when the bombs dropped. I feel like there's plenty of stuff here that I could take a bit of to damage a painting with.
This wreckage is horrifying, but maybe there's something I can use. There's
Maybe.
a loose piece of shrapnel here with a sharp edge. You can never have too many weapons.
Well, hey! Or tools. I think we have a way to remove parts of the painting now. Let's give it a go. Oh, it's one of these procedural textures, I think. Am I scraping away specific parts of it? Maybe not. Yes, I am. Oh no. There's like a specific part you can remove. Token, key.
This can't be a coincidence. Someone is leaving me a trail.
Yes, they are, aren't they? Not what I was expecting.
This symbol looks familiar.
The train.
Where have I seen it before?
The train. You've seen it on the train.
I wonder what this key unlocks.
The door on the train. It all points to the train. You're being led to the train, Amy. To the train! I wonder if the dialogue would have been different if she hadn't actually looked at the logo on the train before.
Huh. The symbol on this token matches the one on the train.
Imagine that.
Fits perfectly.
Excellent. Let's have a quick save there then, shall we?
What was that noise?
Is the train moving? No. Okay. Oh, but now we don't have the salt flats, we have just the train. Interesting. So there may be someone here. I doubt they mean us any immediate harm, because if they wanted us dead, then, you know, there would be far easier ways than leading us on a long
The
trail.
sign on these says, "Do not store anything heat sensitive inside." There's nothing in there but dust.
Interesting.
Looks like this is where the bulk of the controls are.
Quite roomy in here, isn't it? Switch, speaker, button, more buttons, a gauge, a lever, a handle. Huh.
I think I remember Dad having this exact same one in his shop.
A picture.
It would probably disintegrate if I touched it. Not giving a very accurate reading currently. Not giving a very accurate reading currently.
Oh, do you know? Do you know what they're supposed to be readings of?
Not giving a very accurate reading currently. Not giving a very accurate reading currently. Most of the text is faded, but I can make out the words McNulty Hatch Corp at the bottom. Most of the text is faded, but I can make
McNulty.
out the words McNulty Hatch Corp at the bottom.
McNulty Hatch Corp. Interesting. Does this do a does this open and close some sort of hatch then?
Doesn't seem to have done much.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to do much. Makes sense, considering the train's not using any fuel right now. Interesting. Looks like some kind of manually controlled fuel regulator.
Interesting. Why do we have all these things we can interact with in here which don't seem to do anything?
That's where the locomotive's guts are. There can't be anything of much use in there now, though. I'm not sure I can see anything useful to do there. I wonder if this is what caused the train to make its final stop.
Well, it says emergency brake, so I assume not. I can't imagine... Oh no, I suppose if the bombs were dropping, maybe that would have caused them to emergency brake. I mean, it sounds odd, but why? Like, I'd have thought if bombs are dropping around you, you're just as likely to hit it if you're wherever you are right now as if you're wherever you would be if you kept going. You know, in 5 seconds time, 10 seconds time, etc. Would that be the proper thing to do to stop the train? I suppose if the track had been damaged it would be, in front of you.
That thing looks really old. It's no good. Looks like it all evaporated quite a while ago.
Interesting. I didn't realise that could happen. So the fire extinguisher's contents has evaporated.
What are those doing in here? These look like the types of books Nelson collects.
Interesting. So on a variety of subjects, presumably? Wow.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. A footstool. Is there really a need for comfort in a place like this? There's a little plaque on it that says McNulty Hatch Corp. It's sealed tight. I won't be able to open it like this.
Right, we probably need to interact with the controls at the front in some way to open the hatch.
I might accidentally harm it if I do that.
Oh, these are alive. I was thinking it's a long time, 20 years is a long time for the leaves to have not fallen off the tree, but or disintegrated or rotted or what have you. But they, I don't know, it just doesn't look the healthiest plant. How is it getting watered? I suppose whoever's in here watered it?
It doesn't look to be in very good shape.
Well, good thing we have a record arm.
Messing around with this record player isn't my highest priority right now.
Well, you say that, but that note may change your mind.
It's blank.
Oh,
I don't need any notepaper.
or maybe not.
A few loose books. Nothing really jumps out at me. A bunch of records. I've never even heard of half of these artists. That's a lot of books. It rivals Nelson's collection. I haven't got time for reading right now.
What sort of train is this? Like... Is this a private train? I don't understand why else there would be so much stuff in here and not, you know, row after row of seats.
Someone around here has got a green thumb. Messing around with this record player isn't my highest priority right now.
Okay. Perhaps later on it will become a priority.
I don't want to get too close. It smells like old tuna. This looks like it was used recently.
Really? A dish that was used recently? For an animal, perhaps? Could the owner have a cat? If so, they must have acquired the cat in recent years, because I know some cats have lived to be over 20, but that's exceptionally old. Put belongings in the hatch, not people. The unlock code is 251, and then you pull the switch, okay? "251 train hatch code." Two, 5, 1.
I think I heard something coming from the next car.
Is it a cat? Nope.
Hold it right there. Keep your hands where I can see them and don't make any sudden moves. Now, who are you and what are you doing on my train?
I'm Amy, and I'm a friend.
My name is Amy Wellard, and I mean you no harm. I'm a friend.
A friend, huh? You can't fool me. I know a scavenger when I see one. Lucky for you, I'm not in the mood to clean up any messes today. I'll let you see yourself out, but if you touch anything, you're gonna have to answer to old Betsy here. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Come on out here, you old flea bag. Ain't nothing too dangerous out here.
Aww.
I know. I'll feed you now, you old beggar.
Why were we led here? Could that be Lady Twiner? Years later?
It's empty.
Still here, huh? I got my eye on you, so don't try anything funny. I haven't got time to be looking at your collection of junk, missy. I haven't got...
He looks better fed than most people I know.
Understatement of the year right there.
Someone around here has got a green thumb.
I do my best with what I got.
Because there's someone in the room, we get all these replies to the things we observe.
It doesn't look to be in very good shape.
Perhaps we could broker some goodwill by trying to restore the record player.
This is just like the one Mom and Dad used to have. It looks like it's missing the needle, but fixing it wouldn't be too tough. I don't see how I can use... It's a little corroded, but it looks like there's a couple of flowers on this plaque. Must be the logo of the company that made this.
Interesting.
It seems to spin all right. The phonograph's arm is missing.
Right. So
Okay.
that's how we fix it.
Fits perfectly. That should work now. A bunch of records. I've never even heard of half of these artists.
Wouldn't expect you to. Nobody listens to good music anymore.
I don't think that would be a good idea. It seems to spin all right.
So do I get this started somehow? Ah,
Turning the crank wouldn't do much, considering there's no records to play.
yeah, but I don't have anything to... I don't have any records in my possession to start playing.
Hi.
What is it?
I fixed your record player.
Your record player's fixed?
Is that right? And what exactly are you expecting from me in return?
Nothing. Look, I'm not here to get something from you. Why I'm here has nothing to do with you.
Well, that's how the world works. Nobody does something good for nothing.
Some people do. I think you've been out here so long, you've forgotten humans can be good once in a while.
This world eats good people for breakfast. I don't know what you're looking for, but I hope you find it.
I've got the perfect life.
I just want you to know, I've got the perfect life.
Yeah, so do I. Can't ask for more than what I got here.
So she's not with the rebellion. Do you live here all by yourself?
Do you live here all alone?
No, I got that fatso over there to keep me company, and it suits me fine.
How do you survive out here?
Surviving in the wastes can't be easy.
It's not so tough. I grow my own food here, and whatever I need, I just find around the hinterlands.
You never go into the city?
Nah, nothing left for me there. I haven't been back since the bombs fell, and I see no reason to.
Interesting. Where'd you find all this stuff?
Where did you find all these things? I haven't seen living trees in the wastes for a long time.
I didn't find it anywhere. It's all mine. I just carted it all out here when I shacked up on this train.
Where did you come from?
The city. Where do you think?
Interesting. That almost implies that the outer areas were hit harder than the city proper when the bombs fell, which is a bit odd. Although I suppose it could be as simple as the trees that were, the potted trees that were indoors did better than the ones that were outdoors. That would make sense. Do you know anything about the Reaper?
What do you know about the Reaper?
The Reaper? I remember hearing some rumors about a guy they were calling the Reaper, way back around the time the plague started. Supposedly there were some burrs that meant he was coming to kill you, but I never ran into him myself. Hadn't thought about that in years, actually.
I'll just be on my way.
Alrighty.
Right. Not quite sure what the value in that was. We don't know her name. I'm at a bit of a loss, to be honest. Oh, actually, since she's more cordial with us now, maybe she would be willing to look at the stuff that we have in our inventory? I could show her the coin and explain about the trail.
Hey, where did you find that?
Over near Sector 67, do you know anything about it? I noticed the logo on the coin was the same as on this train.
It's the logo for South Coast Transit. They own this railroad along with the public transportation system in the city. That there is a subway token. Before the blast, people would use those to ride the train underneath the city.
Really? I had no idea there was an underground train in the city.
Doesn't surprise me. Almost all the stations collapsed after the blast. There's only one left standing.
Where can I find it?
It's not too far from the quarantine zone. Just head up Ross Avenue and keep your eye out for the Wallies. The station is right next to it. Be careful down there. There's a whole network of tunnels. Don't want you to get lost.
Don't worry. I'm not planning on wandering around any tunnel mazes.
Interesting. Although it does mean that this trail is getting so much longer and more complicated, it's becoming more and more doubtful that anyone could realistically have expected us to follow it. You know, oh, it just so happens we show this coin to this one person that hasn't seen anybody in 20 years. Okay, that can't quite be true because she obviously heard rumours about the Reaper when the plague started, but but you showed this coin to this woman that wasn't expecting you and apparently doesn't, as far as we can tell, have any known associates, and oh, she'll tell you the way to go. There we go. Was it South Coast Railway? I was looking for where I wrote their logo. And Subway. Because I mean, the obvious thing to think now is maybe the person we're looking for is hiding in the subway, but I mean, what a bizarre way to try and lead us there. And how could they possibly know it was going to have worked? Anyway. Maybe they didn't think we'd do the detour via the train here, and that was just serendipitous. Maybe they thought, oh, I'll show them the subway. Oh no, they must have, because they gave us the key to the train, which they somehow acquired. Yeah. Yeah, there's some unanswered questions there, aren't there? Right, Wallis.
I wonder if this person died trying to escape the quarantine zone.
I hope not.
I can just see the wall that's separating the rest of the city from the quarantine zone.
Because if they died trying to escape the quarantine zone, well, what did they actually die of? I mean, if they were gunned down or something, would that not imply they're a gunman that are in close enough proximity that they could shoot us here if they saw us? We are a fugitive and an outlaw, after all.
I'm sure this was a nice-looking place at one point. I can't see any way in from here. I can check. No thanks.
Alright, we're not going to the quarantine zone, clearly. Right.
It's in surprisingly good condition.
Head down into the subway, I guess. Huh. Mannequin?
It's just hanging there. That's kind of grotesque.
Well, you say that, but I mean, there was a body upstairs. On the street, and you've walked across many other bodies before. I'm not sure the mannequins are worse.
How on earth did this get down here?
Yeah, someone's clearly been decorating. They've got an interesting style.
It's not every day you get to see an underground river. The damage from the blast really did a number on this station.
Yeah, my concern is, could that be radioactive water? What was I thinking? Yes, this style, you could almost call it modern art, couldn't you?
I can't get to it. The river is blocking my path. Looks like a place you'd put a coin or something.
So she could enter if she could make it over there, but only once. How's she gonna get past the river?
It's too far to jump, and it doesn't look fit for swimming. There's a ton of debris in there and who knows what else. I'll need to find another way across.
The mannequin?
I'd really rather not.
Okay. I mean, we don't have any objects that would really help. I suppose if we could get some rope, we could try firing a bolt with a rope on the end at the ceiling and then swinging across, but that's... Well, if the bolt comes loose, then we're not going to be very happy. I mean, obviously a boat would work. She said it doesn't look fit for swimming in, though. She doesn't have a Geiger counter on her, so I can only assume she's saying that based on how dirty it is. And if she considers it too dirty to swim in, then that implies to me that she wouldn't even want to get... She wouldn't want any large part of her body to touch the water at all. Which would rule out, like, making a little... Like, having a little floating object and paddling over there or something. I don't mean paddling, do I? Oh no, I could do. Yeah, it's two senses, doesn't it? I mean, she couldn't just make a really simple, like, a very primitive raft-like thing, like just a few planks of wood that she just holds onto and then paddles her way across. That's clearly not going to cut it. She might be able to shoot the sign down, but the problem is then what?
I can't just go around. I can't just. I don't see.
Yeah, I'm at a bit of a loss. Let's go back up and see if I missed anything. Oh, a loose L. Is that how we do it? But that's exactly the type of thing that I was just saying isn't likely to be the solution. Because even if the L can float, she's not going to want to use it to help get from one side to the other if the water's too dirty.
That bit of sign looks like it's just a strong gust of wind away from falling down.
Well, let's find out. So this was the expectation. Strikes me as a waste of a bolt. But then what? It's not going to be strong enough that she could... Oh, sorry, it's not going to be so buoyant that she could float on it. Sorry, let me try again. It's not going to be so buoyant that she could stand on it. So it's not like she could put it in the middle then hop across.
There, that should work.
Oh, okay, I see. There was a issue of scale there. The L that she picked up, that she knocked down and picked up, looked a lot smaller than that L looks. Right, let's make our way in.
Well, it accepted my token.
Good, 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 good. Not ideal.
Great, another collapse.
Well, as long as it's not behind you.
Look at that. There was a whole underground train network in this area. Amazing. Unfortunately, it won't come off the wall.
Not quite sure where you'd need it.
Formerly part of the ceiling, from the looks of things.
So presumably that's the street. So that's another way out. Oh. Interesting.
Now there's an interesting outfit. It's wearing the tattered remains of some kind of sports uniform. Thankfully, it looks like it's been abandoned. Still on the rack, though not in very good shape.
Interesting. That's actually strange. What would have caused these clothes to degrade? If you just left clothes just put away somewhere, they, under normal conditions, they shouldn't degrade. I mean, we have clothing items that are hundreds of years old in museums, and largely they will have spent a large part of their life just put away appropriately. You know, there would have been someone in, say, you know, the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th century that was wearing it, and then the reason those clothes have survived is because at some point they weren't passed on, or well, they would have been passed on to the next generation, but the next generation didn't use them, because it was a thing in the past that you used to cannibalize old clothes. You know, if the fashion's changed, well, you change the a garment you already have instead of buying a new one. It's a very modern sentiment that you consume clothes, that you just buy new ones whenever you think you need new clothes and chuck them out when they're old. Clothes used to be reused, but the point is, the reason we have these old clothes is because at some point someone would have inherited them, chose not to wear them for whatever reason, and then just, you know, kept them in a drawer for 50 years, 80 years, and then perhaps someone else got a hold of them and put them in a trunk or something like that, and eventually someone realised, wait a minute, we have some really old clothes here, these belong in a museum. My point being, why have these clothes degraded? Admittedly, they are open to the outside, so humidity and temperature would change a lot, but you wouldn't expect them to, like, tatter like this, would you? These look like they've been worn to being destroyed. Also, insects potentially. If they're made out of natural fibres, then insects might try to eat them. But then again, they said it was sportswear, and sportswear, as well, a lot of modern clothing is made out of synthetic fibres. A lot of it. It can be difficult to get clothing that isn't. Unless it's a very specific type of clothing, like a fleece, where you probably can still get like a woolen fleece if you really wanted. But sportswear especially tends to be very engineered synthetic fibres. Well, engineered clothing made of synthetic fibres. So, like, you wouldn't expect insects to attack it. You wouldn't expect it to suffer that much from the outside elements. It's bizarre. This is after only 20 years.
Thankfully, it looks like it's been abandoned.
Oh, Amy's scared of spiders, it would
I'd
seem.
not touch it, just in case it's not abandoned. These clothes would probably fall apart if I touched them.
Bizarre.
Nothing on there worth taking. I don't think it's fit to be worn. Looks like this person was crushed by the ceiling. What an awful end.
Not ideal.
Too late to help now. Doesn't look like there's anything useful on the body either.
That must have been 20 years ago. Rope! Oh, we love a bit of rope.
It's tangled up too tightly to undo by hand.
Well, how are you going to undo it then?
It's tangled up around that pile of debris.
Cut it?
A nice piece of rope and a freed mannequin. 2 birds with 1 stone.
That's very wasteful. You don't really want to cut rope unless you absolutely positively have to. Oh wow, so they weren't that exposed to the elements. I mean, yes, there would be differences in temperature and humidity to a point. But it's not like the rain would have made it in here. With the way how bright it is up there, I thought that was actually the sky. Same here. I mean, you think it's the sky that you're seeing.
There's a trapdoor at the top of these stairs, but it seems to be locked from the other side.
Okay, I just wanted to check that, so I couldn't have gone through that way even if I'd wanted.
The mannequin's in even worse shape now. It's got some nice gloves on, though.
Oh, is this Wally's? Because the door to Wally's was, that we couldn't find the door to Wally's, could we? There didn't seem to be a way in. I'll take a baseball bat. But I wonder if the subway goes under Wally's and then when it collapsed we found a way in.
An old shop vac. I haven't seen one in ages. It won't have any parts I need. These things are pretty useless.
Interesting.
This fridge still looks like it's doing okay. Not
Is it
surprisingly,
operational?
It's empty. I'm going to need something to open up the side if I want to scavenge for parts.
Huh. Honestly, a refrigerator would probably be one of those things that you really would like to have in this sort of situation. Because it just changes the longevity of food. Like, that's a big deal. You have another way to keep food for a long time.
Doesn't look like they're even worth examining for parts. These don't look to be in very good condition. Pretty small for an anchor. I bet it doesn't weigh too much. I can't reach inside the display case.
Well, we have a solution to that.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Don't know what I'm going to need with an anchor and a bit of rope. I can't imagine we'll be going out to sea, but I suppose you never know.
This isn't in as good a condition as I thought. Only useful part in here is this fuse. I might as well hang on to it.
I mean, I'll take a fuse. It's baffling to me how she decides the things that she does need and doesn't need, though. Like, oh, a tiny little anchor? That could be really useful. A refrigerator that actually works? I can't imagine ever using that.
It's shut tight.
Not that it
I won't be able to
does,
pry it
but...
open with my bare hands. No, this piece of shrapnel is too flimsy to pry the doors open. If I force it anymore, it'll break. Looks like I'll have to find a less forceful method of getting this elevator to open.
Maybe it still has power?
Dead. Although, I might be able to take a look inside and get it working again.
Oh, the fuse.
I'll bet these are the controls for the elevator, assuming these still work.
But that's only going to work if it still has power. And if it has power, I'm not sure you want to be installing a new fuse while it's alive.
There, that wasn't so tough. Poking around in there with my fingers probably isn't the best idea.
No.
These don't look too complex. It just looks like the main fuse is blown.
How convenient.
I sure hope this works.
Oh. Now that should never happen. Elevators have a lot of fail-safes in. For that to happen, it is, that elevator is in a very dangerous state of repair.
A bunch of old office furniture, from the look of it. That pile of rubble forms a ramp up to the opening. If I could get up there, I'd be able to climb it. Looks like that's my next destination.
Okay, you've just decided.
I'm guessing this used to support the structure before it collapsed.
Do you still have a bolt? Because I know you fired a bolt, didn't recover it, but the game has been pretty inconsistent with your amount of ammo so far.
It's out of ammo right now. My trusty crossbow. It's out of ammo right now.
Could we use this as a bolt?
I don't think I can load that into the crossbow.
Okay. Oops.
A bunch of old office furniture, from the look of it. There's nothing worth selling.
It's funny. Sometimes just the odd comments she says, demonstrates that she has a really quite in-depth knowledge of what life was like before the bombs fell. Things like, oh, that looks like office furniture. Oh, they seem to be wearing tattered old sportswear. Oh, I'm not a landscaper, so I shouldn't be weeding. That sort of thing. Like, why would she know what a landscaper was, for example? It's hard to imagine there are many people employed as such now, at least in the this part of the world. And yet other times she'll talk to Nelson and say, oh, could you tell me what it was like before the bombs fell? And we'll get very little information in return, very little real insight. It's odd.
Not a bad idea, but I can't loop the rope around the girder from down here.
Oh, with the anchor.
Not a bad idea.
Make a poor man's grappling hook. Excellent.
Looks like that's my way up.
Good luck.
Ooh, that was more of a climb than I anticipated.
Uranium glass. Someone's probably here.
What is this place?
Looks like an easel. So this is probably the painter. Montgomery White. I'm guessing is probably also behind the Ravens, since the Ravens were the ones that led us here. But why? Why would he care about Amy?
Reminds me of the one in the rebel hideout. I wonder if there was once a raven in there.
Interesting theory.
A sketch of the Reaper. Lots of little design notes written around the sides.
Oh, and the doctor that saved her, of course.
Messy. Someone should really clean this place up.
Surveillance. hardware, possibly.
Those look to be mostly medical textbooks. I had something like this when I was a kid. A jar of dirt where bugs lived.
Oh, a terrarium. I believe that's what it's called. Is that what it's called? Where you have a little microbiome in a jar. Just checking. Keeping the terrarium sealed allows for circulation of water, making the terrarium self-sufficient. So apparently there's a distinction between closed terrarium and open terrarium. Oh, was I thinking of a vivarium? A vivarium is an area usually enclosed for keeping and raising animals or plants for observational research. Oh, vivarium is the broader term. Aquarium, terrarium, etc. are types of vivarium. Huh. Well, enough of looking that up. I think it would be called a terrarium, although it has to be said that terrarium isn't a specific enough term to narrow it down exactly. But yeah, some people will keep sealed jars with dirt and various small insects inside, and plants, of course, and they'll leave them somewhere where they get sunlight, and then that's just an entire biome just sealed off from the world in a little container.
An old radio and some kind of electronic music equipment. They've surely been scavenged for parts. An old radio and some kind of electronic music equipment. I'm not leaving here until I figure out what this place is.
Okay.
Aha! Just what I thought. They're mechanical. Aha! These look like security monitors. What are they doing here? These look weird. I wonder what these are for. Anatomy, infectious diseases, biology, quite a collection.
The person from the very start of the game. They said that... Actually, do I have this written down? But the narrator, when the game first began, November 9th, 20 years ago, the world ended. I don't think I have more notes than that, but the person that was speaking said that they were responsible for the end of the world, and that despite 20 years of work, they still hadn't managed to find a solution. So maybe they, as a doctor, were working with some sort of infectious disease, and the bomb dropped and caused some of their samples to be spread across the city, which then caused people to die from green lung, and since then Montgomery White has been trying to find a solution.
Full of lots of unmarked bottles. I wonder what they're for.
That still raises the question, though, why they're interested in Amy. Oh my goodness, that was impressive.
Ah, Amy Willard, you found me.
was hoping you would.
How did you...
I realize you probably have many questions. I can give you all the answers you need, but first, allow me to make myself more presentable.
So you are human?
Yes. I'm sorry to disappoint you if you were expecting more.
Looks
I don't know
about
what I was expecting,
45,
to be
50.
honest.
So he must have been very, very young to have had a whole career in art and then medicine. So you're a doctor?
You told me you were a doctor.
Yes, Dr. Edwin Aquino, at your service.
Different person
I was
then.
once the leader of the Green Lung vaccine development team, but after learning about their vaccine distribution, or lack thereof, that quickly changed.
Hang on. You knew about the vaccine hoarding? Why didn't you tell anyone?
That would have started violent riots. It's not fair to begin a civil war when it would end without a cure for the illness. I wanted to say something. It hurt not to, but the time wasn't right.
You didn't think the people deserved to know?
They do, and they will. But not while we only have a vaccine and not a cure. With a permanent cure, the aristocracy's hoarding becomes irrelevant, and the focus will be on eradicating the disease.
I guess that makes sense.
What was his name? Dr. Aqueen, but I missed the other part. Was it Edward Aqueen? Edwin. So Montgomery White going into medicine and then disappearing apparently has nothing to do with this. It was just a very long, complex trail to lead us here somehow. Doesn't explain how he had the key to the train that the lady was living on, who we still don't have a name for. Or how he knew that visiting her would lead us to him, even though he apparently doesn't know her, so far as we can tell. What's with the mechanical ravens?
Why the mechanical ravens? What do they do?
Rather clever little inventions, wouldn't you say? They have video transmitters in their eyes and audio transmitters in their beaks. I use them as scouts, since I can control them remotely.
Did you make them?
No, someone else did, a long time ago. In any case, they've served me quite well. At least, the ones that haven't broken. I have very few left, which is going to be a problem at some point.
Why have you been watching me?
You've been following me with your birds. Why am I of such interest to you?
You did a lottery job for the Ministry of Energy.
That's right. What of it?
You've got the disease. You're fighting to survive. You're clever and resourceful. Exactly what I need.
Exactly what do you need?
After I left the Ministry of Medicine, I began my attempts at developing a permanent cure for green lung.
Does he have
It was a
green
long
lung?
process, which took over 10 years. But just last month, I had a breakthrough and was able to make this.
Is that...
Yes, this is the cure for green lung.
You're very
I've been
confident.
testing it and it seems to work, but I need to be certain. Aside from that, I don't have the information necessary to mass produce the cure, though I suspect Tiberius keeps it somewhere in the Ministry of Energy.
So, what is it you need from me?
We're both fugitives, Amy. I can't put myself at risk by going to the places I need to. If I'm killed or captured, my research will have all been for nothing. You can clearly take care of yourself. I saw how you handled things at Rockwall Prison and Willowdale Plaza.
You helped me out both of those times.
I merely provided some assistance. Your survival was your own doing. Now I realize it's a bit much to ask, but your help would be incredibly valuable. Not just to me, but to the future of humanity.
It's not really much to ask. I owe you my life, after all.
Thank you, Amy. I appreciate it. The main thing I need is to find out where Tiberius is keeping my research on mass production. At some point, I'll also need a subject to test the cure on, so I can be absolutely sure it works. Do you have any questions?
Can I be your test subject?
About your subject, can I try the cure?
I'd like to, but it's far too risky. You are one of my greatest assets right now. If this proves to have any adverse side effects, I'll be without your help. Once I can mass produce this, I won't have to be so careful.
Selfless, you don't mind being poked and prodded. Well, that depends. It doesn't follow that with any adverse side effects it'd be without our help, but I agree. If there were severe adverse side effects, like it killed us, then he certainly would be. Trying to think, do we know anybody who definitely has green lung, other than ourselves? Oh, Silas? Other than that, I don't know. But yeah, he says that our survival was our own doing. We took a fatal stabbing, and it was only due to his intervention that we lived, so I'm not sure I agree. You wear strange clothes for a doctor.
Why do you dress like that?
Intimidation, mainly. The work I do is not exactly looked upon favorably by the government, so I had to come up with a way to make sure I was left alone. The costume is just to make sure anyone who might happen to see me is scared off.
So you knew of the rumors about the Reaper and decided to become him yourself?
No, I'm the one who started them. Creating the image of death personified seemed a natural deterrent for anyone who might get too close. Thankfully, the rumors seem to have spread rather quickly over the years.
You aren't kidding. There's a whole cult dedicated to worshipping you.
Yes, I know of them. An extreme example, but I can't deny it helps my work.
So Wilson might be alive, because why else would he have visited Wilson when Jess was nearby? I imagine he didn't know she'd start a cult, but was probably happy for her to spread stories about him. But I wonder if he managed to save Wilson. He didn't have a permanent cure till just now. He might have had enough doses of vaccine to keep Wilson going, though, possibly. Maybe. So he is and has always been the only Reaper then. It's not like someone else, such as this Montgomery White, was the original Reaper. And then he took over for him. Also, how did he get that glider, and how did he manage to get such altitude with it? I suppose using thermals, but my goodness, for something that you can actually wear and, you know, do normal things whilst wearing, it's not overly cumbersome, that was an incredibly effective glider. I'm surprised he hasn't had soldiers taking pot shots at him when he's been flying through the air. So I can see how he would have known about the portrait of Lady Twining. Because he presumably knew when he visited Wilson that Wilson had been going for that painting, and presumably put together... I mean, since he knows about this cult, presumably he's surveilled them enough that he became aware of Jess's story at some point, so could have realised we might make the connection between the painting and her, which would lead us to Sector 67. But I still don't understand how he managed to... I still don't understand the whole link with the train. Like, if the only thing there had been the token, not the key to the train, you could have easily imagined, oh right, so he was just giving us a subway token to lead us here. That makes sense, but it also included this key to a train which had a single occupant who, as far as we know, doesn't know him, hasn't been in much contact with anyone for the best part of 2 decades, and seemed frankly baffled by our presence there, didn't question the fact that we also had a key. I must assume there are at least 2 keys to the train. One of which he has, and presumably one of which the lady in the train has. She seemed baffled and only just happened to point us in the right direction. Like, how could he have known the events would happen that way and she wouldn't, for example, shoot us on sight? How do you find the mass production information?
How can we find the mass production information?
Ideally, I could use my ravens to go in and locate it, but I only have 3 working ones left. And as you're well aware, Tiberius' tower is huge. It would take way too long for only 3 ravens to scan the entire place without being detected.
Could I take a look at one of them?
Of course.
Who did you say made these?
A friend in the Ministry of Knowledge, but that was ages ago. I know very little about their design.
It isn't too complex, actually. I can fix them for you, no problem.
You can?
Sure. See this bit here? That's the servo, the part that controls the wings. It's worn out, so I just need to replace it with a new one.
Are those common? Would we be able to find one or more in the city?
Well, I learned about them from working on toy airplanes that my friend had when we were kids. If we could find some, we'd be in business.
I wonder. Yes, excellent. As I suspected, there's a hobby shop which has remained mostly intact further in the city, and I can see that they have several model airplanes.
Great. I'll go get them and fix your ravens in no time.
Yes, but the store is located in the quarantine zone.
So, I have nothing to worry about. I'm already infected.
You contracting green lung isn't my concern. It's how you're going to get back out. The quarantine zone is designed to keep people from escaping.
If I can find a way in, I'll just have to find a way out, won't I?
Fine. While you're there, see if you can bring someone back with you. Someone who has been quarantined will make an ideal subject to test the cure on.
Okay.
I'll see what I can do.
Good. Take this then.
What is it?
A 2-way communicator. They used to call them walkie-talkies. We can use them to stay connected while you're in there.
That's a very wide range for a walkie-talkie. Because it's not like radio, it's not like there's a central tower they're connecting to. I don't know, maybe... To be honest, I'm only aware of walkie-talkies as a toy. Obviously, I'm aware that they are used in various professions as a genuine tool. But I assumed they used the same principle, where each walkie-talkie is the transmitter and receiver, and so they're quite limited in range. Like, it's one thing to use a walkie-talkie in, 100 meters of each other, quite another one to do it across a city. But, I don't know, maybe more serious walkie-talkies do have a central tower, making them more like radio, and they're still considered walkie-talkies, perhaps? I don't know. Doesn't sound like a walkie-talkie to me, sounds more like radio he's describing. Bring someone back from quarantine zone. So these are more tasks we need to accomplish. My to-do list is spilled out onto a second page. What do you know about Tiberius?
Can you tell me anything about Tiberius?
Quite a bit. I've known him for a very long time. Since before the bombs, in fact. Was there anything specific you wanted to know?
What did he do before the bombs? That would be really interesting to know, because I don't know whether the aristocracy existed before the bombs or not.
What was Tiberius like before the bombs?
He was the director of the Ministry of Energy. Of course, back then he wasn't calling himself Tiberius. It was just Julian. After society collapsed, he took the initiative to reform and establish the aristocracy. His love for history led him to adopt the alias of Tiberius, as well as insisting the other aristocrats take the name of ancient Roman emperors.
Why does he wear that awful mask?
Anonymity. He felt government leaders are more respected as an institution rather than as people. I can't deny that this approach works extremely well.
Interesting. Very interesting. No worries, Jenny. I hope you have a nice shift. I don't know how much of this game's left. It's possible by the time that you've finished your shift that I'll have finished the game. We'll have to see. Right, so Tiberius, aristocrat, minister, used to be Julian, established aristocracy, mask provides anonymity. So there's quite a bit more information we've learnt about him. Has he always been evil?
Was he always so evil?
I wouldn't call him that. Manipulative, yes. Ruthless, undoubtedly. But not evil. He suffered immense trauma on the day the bombs fell.
Oh, that's okay then.
Not all of us had the wealth to recover so easily.
Tiberius lost both his wife and unborn child that day. Wealth or not, that hits a man hard. It left him quite mentally unstable, to be honest.
Evil.
His determination to rebuild society was rooted in trying to cope with his loss. In a way, I felt pity for him. Perhaps too much.
What do you mean by that?
Nothing. Never mind.
I'll make a note about that. So, Dr. What was his name? I was going to write Asquith. Aquine, that was it. Dr. Aquine pities Tiberius. Odd Roman Emperor to name yourself after, though. Because, I mean, Tiberius, unless there were multiple Tiberiuses, the Tiberius I'm thinking of, the one that succeeded Augustus and preceded Caligula. Not a very popular chap. Not regarded as one of history's most likable fellows. So odd emperor to pick to name yourself after. Why has he got a soothsayer?
Strange for him to have a soothsayer for an assistant. How is he qualified?
Superstition is a very powerful force. I'm living proof of that. I never had many dealings with the soothsayer, but I believe he came from somewhere outside the city. Tiberius finds comfort in being able to have a channel to the supposed other side. While I don't share his beliefs, I can't particularly fault him for having them.
That's all for now.
Fair enough.
I'll just get to it then.
Good luck, Amy. By the way, that doorway back there will allow you to get up and down the tower much easier than climbing.
Good to know. Wish I could have used that way the first time. Tiberius likes having a channel to the other side. Soothsayer. From outside the city. Lost wife and unborn child when the bombs fell. I would say that Dr. Aquine must have been quite young when the bombs fell. Maybe 25-ish? 30? Perhaps? And I would say that Tiberius, if he'd gotten to the point where he'd married his wife, but they hadn't had their first child yet, but clearly were trying for children, he was probably in his 30s? So they're probably around the same age.
Nice. Never heard one of these played before. I'm not a musician or a thief.
Right, sorry. Quarantine zone. Best make our way there. I would expect the person guarding the quarantine zone to have a gun.
Quarantine zone. For a lot of people, this is one of the last signs they ever get to read.
I imagine getting in is going to be easy. Just point out we have green lung.
Way too dangerous to cross on foot. Excuse me.
Huh? What do you want?
I need to get into the quarantine zone.
I need to get inside the quarantine zone.
Huh. You know, I think that's the first time I've ever heard anyone say that. Why on earth would you want to go into the quarantine zone? There's nothing in there except the sick and dying.
I have green lung.
I've got green lung.
Is that so? You look pretty healthy to me.
That may be, but I can assure you I've got it.
Look, my orders are to take people in who are at the terminal phase, and you clearly aren't. So unless you can prove otherwise, my hands are tied. Why are you trying to get in there anyway? If I was you, I would avoid telling anyone I was sick.
I have my reasons.
I'm sure you do.
What are you doing?
What is it you're doing out here?
Transporting people into the quarantine zone. What does it look like?
Aren't you worried about getting infected?
Well, considering this is a lottery job, not really.
Keep up the good work.
Thanks.
What have we got? A communicator, baseball bat. That would be quite a violent way to make our way in.
My trusty crossbow. It's out of ammo right now. Way too dangerous to cross on foot.
It shouldn't be that dangerous. It's a bridge. We'd be taking the same amount of weight either way.
Excuse me.
Huh? What do you want?
Keep up the good work.
Thanks.
Oh, I do hope this isn't the solution. Very unrealistic if it is.
I don't think she'd be interested in that.
No, neither do I.
A safety sign. Looks to be warning against riding on the back of the trains.
Short of making a disguise, I don't know how we could do this.
This is my way of communicating directly with the Dr. Aquino.
Ah, Aquino, not Aquino.
She really shouldn't be out there. Oh, hi, Amy. Welcome back.
That's right. Take a load off.
Did the blue burglar help any?
Are your sheep doing any better with the blue burglar?
As a matter of fact, they are. A week after I planted it, it was sprouting up everywhere. And the sheep love it. Too early to tell just yet, but I think we might just be okay for next season.
Glad to hear it.
That's good news.
I really should be going.
Come back anytime you want to rest. We'll be here.
Please be careful out there, Amy.
Right, they can't help,
I'll see you guys later.
Take care of yourself out there, Amy.
help Amy get into the quarantine zone. Oops, didn't mean to go there. I meant to go to St. Stephen's.
Excuse me?
Yes?
Have a good day.
May death come to you swiftly, fellow seeker.
Oh, I can't tell her
Not right
about
now.
what I've seen. To be fair, that wouldn't help Dr. Aquino at all if the whole cult fell through, would it? How am I going to get in here? Oh! I'll tell you who might be able to help me. The Rebellion.
Danton,
What is it, Amy?
time for me to go. Be careful.
If you need a place to hide, you can always come back here.
Okay, that's a bit ridiculous. The idea that if we considered ourselves members of the Rebellion, that we wouldn't tell everything we've discovered to Danton. Because there's a lot of information there which is very relevant to the Rebellion, things they could really do with knowing about, and which they might indeed be able to help us with. I mean, it's not even inconceivable that the Rebellion might have established in the past a way in and out of the quarantine zone. It's certainly not certain that they would have done. But for example, the quarantine zone, if they could have established a path in and out, the quarantine zone would have made a very good place to hide out. It's unlikely that aristocracy would have followed us there, or followed
Excuse
anyone there.
Huh? What do you want?
Keep up the good work.
Thanks.
Oh, I pray this isn't the solution.
I don't think she... I can't... hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Can you help me prove that I'm dying?
I need proof that I'm dying.
A rather odd request.
Yes, but if I'm going to get into the quarantine zone, I need the gatekeeper to think I'm sick enough.
I may have a plan. I just hope you aren't faint of heart.
Trust me, I'm not.
Oh dear.
Go out and see if you can find someone who has recently died of green lung. Then use your communicator to let me know. I should be able to help you further from there.
Okay, but how will I be able to tell if they died of green lung?
Look for green sputum around the body and pustules around the wrists. Those are the two telltale signs.
Oh god. Sorry. Oh goodness. I hope we're not gonna do what I think we're gonna do.
Over and out. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Over and out. Hello?
Yes.
Over and out. Doesn't look like he's been here that long. Looks like he's got pustules on his wrists, and there's a small puddle of green goo on the ground next to him. This person was definitely a victim of green lung.
Yeah.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
I found someone who died of green lung.
I found our patient.
Excellent. Where is the body located?
In Sector 67, right near that painting.
I'll meet you there shortly.
That was shortly.
Poor soul. Hopefully this site will soon be a thing of the past. Step over there if you would, Amy. I need room to work.
Oh.
Here, take this.
A severed arm?
Yes. Notice the pustules around the wrist. Those are the telltale signs of the terminal phase of green lung. With some trickery on your part, you should be able to use this to get into the quarantine zone.
Okay. Thanks.
But what about the other person that had lost an arm? This isn't the first time you've done this, is it?
This corpse is missing its left arm. I wonder what happened to it.
Can you put two and two together?
I don't see how I can...
Something's very wrong here. I feel like he's not telling me everything, and that makes me wonder whether I can actually trust him.
I can make it seem like this is my arm, but if she sees the hand in its current condition, she'll know something's up.
So, What do you need? A glove? We could go to Waller's. I wasn't looking for gloves the first time we came here, so it's very conceivable I'd have missed some.
Still on the rack. I don't see...
If there were gloves, they would, and they're in the distance, there'd be only a few pixels in size, so I imagine if there are gloves I can collect, they must be quite close to the camera. Not seeing any though. Oh, we used the turnstile a second time without having to put another coin in. That's good.
Still nothing on...
I don't know how you do this without a glove. This seems to be the only area where clothes are, though.
I don't think it's fit. Not my style. These clothes would probably... Nothing on...
It would be strange for the solution be to get some gloves, and for the gloves not to be in the clothes store you can break into.
Even if this person did die of green lung, there's no way to tell without any skin.
I doubt they died of green lung, because the ceiling collapsed on them, which would have presumably been just after the... Well, it is clearly the most likely cause of death.
I don't need to go through...
And there's a fair chance they died when the bombs fell. Does this mannequin have gloves on?
Creepy. Those are some nice gloves it's got on, though.
There we go.
Maybe this will help.
Oh dear. Good thing Amy is not faint of heart. Quarantine zone, that's the one.
Excuse me.
Yeah? What is it?
Take a look at this.
Oh, jeez. You weren't kidding. We have to get you inside. Climb up on the cart here and let's get a move on.
Oh, there's a fire, which is a little surprising.
Please.
Well, well. Fresh meat.
I beg your pardon?
Welcome to the quarantine zone, honey. Now shut up. Boys.
We're about to get robbed, aren't we?
What are you...
So, this is how things are going to work, okay? My guys are going to search you and take anything we like. Once we do that, you don't follow us or ever talk to us again. Curl up wherever you want and wait until you're done. Anything good, Honor?
Yeah, a crossbow, radio, baseball bat, a piece of metal, and a severed arm?
Huh. It's always the clean ones that are the freaks. Let her keep her little toy. Take the rest.
Let go of me!
We got the radio?
Enjoy your stay while you can.
Well then, we probably do need to go back for that stuff, unfortunately. Yeah, the fire... Oh, those are bodies that are on fire. Oh. Well, that explains that. I was going to say, it'd be surprising if they're lighting fires to stay warm, and yet there's still wood that can be burnt in this place after such a long time, but clearly I misunderstood. Right. So we need the servos, and we need a person to come out with us. It would help a lot if we could get our stolen stuff back, so I'm adding that to the to-do list, but...
It's sealed up. I can't get inside.
Interesting.
I wonder what this used to be.
I wonder if it's been sealed up all this time since the bombs fell.
Ugh, that smell.
Oh dear. This has taken a very dark turn.
I guess he wanted to go out on his own terms. I'm not going to touch him. It's disrespectful. Great. 12 boxes still sealed. These servos will work perfectly.
Amy? Not you two.
Oh, blimey.
Gordon? What happened to you?
I didn't give my materials to the rebels. Instead, I took the aristocrats up on their deal for food vouchers. When I got sick, they threw me in here without a second thought. I thought I'd be taken care of. I should have at least tried helping Dan Tom. Maybe we wouldn't be here right now. Maybe my daughter wouldn't be out there alone.
It's okay, Gordon. I'm working to try to get a permanent cure for everyone.
A permanent cure? That can't be possible.
It is. I've seen it.
But even if that was true, we're stuck here. There's no way out.
I'll find a way. I swear.
Well, as a word of warning, stay away from the old supermarket. This lady named Rita hangs out there, and she's bad news.
Thanks for the heads up, but I've already met her.
Just don't go looking for trouble if
You assume. Rita. Quarantine zone. Crime. Boss. Old supermarket. Excellent. So, 2 steps back and 1 step forward.
Another victim of Green Lung. Looks like they've been here for quite some time.
So technically I have everything I need now. I have a person who'll leave with me.
A mother and her child. At least they died together.
And I have the servos.
A cash register. It's been a long time since this got used. Not surprisingly, it's empty.
Really? I wonder what they'd have used the cash for. Perhaps this is before this was a quarantine zone.
Last one to die, please turn out the light. Poor man. Doesn't look like he went peacefully. Oh my god.
Why is it this gruesome though? I mean, even by the standards of a lawless place, this seems particularly lawless. Perhaps it's just because everyone knows they're going to die soon. Oh yeah, I remember what I was going to say. I wonder if the woman we think is Rita and the others, her henchmen, I wonder if they've developed a natural resistance to green lung, and so they've just been stuck here for ages. And then they just rob newcomers every time they come in routinely.
Another unfortunate victim of green lung. Looks like this was a food store once. Can't imagine there's a whole lot left. Another resident of the quarantine zone. I can't tell if this person is alive or dead. Another resident of the quarantine zone. I can't tell if this person is alive or dead.
Right, so we're heading towards Ground Zero, I think they said.
Looks like a tent city for those who weren't lucky enough to find shelter in the buildings. They're empty. I guess people don't stick around too long in them.
Yeah, it's a good point. Why at this point would anyone not be hiding in a building?
Another resident of the quarantine zone. I can't tell if this person is alive or dead.
I refuse to believe these tents have been here for 20 years and are still up.
This door looks incredibly heavy. It's sealed shut. I'll need to unlock it if I want to get it open. Dead disposal. Well, that's certainly direct. It's way too high for me to reach.
With the crossbow we might manage it. Right, I'll add that to the list of interactables that we don't currently have either a use for or a way to interact with. Gordon's shop restocks. Yeah, I'm not sure that's going to be so relevant anymore.
They're empty. I guess people don't stay. There's nothing out there but leveled buildings and more dead bodies. I can see the blast zone from here. To think, that's where this all started 20 years ago.
So is that food store that she mentioned the old supermarket? Because it doesn't look large enough to be a supermarket.
They're empty.
I guess so.
Hey, didn't I tell you not to follow me? Turn around nice and slow and start walking.
Do you know any way to escape this place?
I need to escape from here. Do you know a way out?
Escape? Huh. The only way out of here is through the dead disposal chute. You'll get your chance to escape through there next month. Just be sure you're dead by then. You done asking stupid questions now? Get your ass out of here.
The trouble is, where does it actually go? I'm worried it will just go into a furnace or something like that. Then again, if they aren't expecting anybody at that time, perhaps it would be off.
Hey, Gordon.
Doesn't mean you could leave, though. It could still be sealed. How long have you been in here?
When did they put you in here?
I don't know. I haven't been counting. Seems like forever. Wasn't too long after they put up those posters of you in the market. What did you do anyway?
It's a long story, and now isn't the time.
So he's been in here about 3 weeks. I find it hard to believe he hasn't been counting. What do you know about Rita?
What's the deal with that Rita lady?
I haven't dealt with her too much, but she seems like a bully. Didn't give me too much trouble when I came in, but then I didn't have much of value on me.
Why would she take people's things? It's not like she can take them with her.
Who knows? Maybe she's a hoarder.
I doubt it. Do you know any way to escape this place? Oh, I think I have an escape plan.
I think I know how to get us out of here.
What are you talking about?
The dead disposal chute. If we can open it, we can escape that way.
That chute leads down to the incinerator. We'd die before we escape. We might as well just hang ourselves. At least it won't be as painful.
Hear me out. Rita said that they wouldn't be disposing of bodies until next month.
Yeah.
Tiberius is not the wasteful type. I doubt he'd allow for the incinerator to be on if it wasn't being used.
I don't know. This still sounds risky.
It is, But if we can help each other out and manage to escape, you'll be able to see Susan again. If not for me, at least try this for your daughter.
Okay, lead on.
Bit manipulative.
Think you can get it open?
No good. It's sealed tight.
What about that button up there?
Stand on each other's shoulders.
I saw them pushing bodies down the chute when I first got here. They pressed that button before opening the door. It's pretty high up there, though. Even if I gave you a boost, I don't think you could reach it.
And there's nothing around we could use to stand on. I think this means I'm going to need to get my crossbow back from Rita.
Need me to help you deal with her?
No, I can settle this on my own.
Can you? So Susan is Gordon's daughter. I'm not sure I would be refusing the help. The more manpower, the better, I'd say. How on earth are we going to do this? Why do I still have a severed arm? Can I just drop this? No.
Huh, where did she go?
Good question. Oh, she's stuck. A shelf fell on her, presumably. But even if we save her, I'm not sure she's going to help us. Oh!
What's going on in here?
What? How did you...
Rita, I saw... Oh, shit.
What the hell is wrong with you, Freddy? You were supposed to make sure nobody came in.
I'm sorry, I was...
I don't want excuses. Just get her out of here.
Hang on, who is this?
Nobody you need to worry about. Freddy, get her out of here.
Relax. I'll take care of it. Don't get our sis even more upset than she already is.
She's your sister?
Freddy!
Go ahead, try and touch me. See how that goes for you. I'll leave you alone as soon as you give me back my crossbow.
No, my sister and her baby need protecting.
All this stuff? Have you been stealing it to help your sister?
You think anyone else in this rat hole is gonna do it? No, it's all up to me.
If I can help you with your sister, will you give me back my crossbow?
What are you, a doctor or something?
No, but I know one, and I've got a direct line to him on that radio you took from me.
Really?
See for yourself.
Hello? Is anyone there?
Amy, is that you?
No, my name is Rita. I'm here with Amy. She says you're a doctor and that you can help.
I am, and I'll do my best. What seems to be the problem?
My sister is in labor and my brothers and I don't know what to do.
I see. The first and most important thing you all need to do is relax. I'll guide you through every step of the process, but you'll need to listen carefully to my instructions.
Okay.
Can you put Amy on, please?
Sure.
Checking that Amy's actually there and okay.
Hey, Doc.
I can't imagine conditions in there are particularly hygienic.
They aren't, no.
Do you by any chance have access to water?
Actually, yes. We're in an abandoned supermarket that's got plenty.
Excellent. What about any sort of instruments like scissors or something sharp?
Yeah, I've got a few here.
Perfect. Amy, I need you to boil the water in order to sterilize the instruments. You'll need a container to keep the water in, and some way to heat it up. Do you think you can manage?
I think so, yes.
Good. Put Rita back on so I can tell her what to do.
Here you go. I'm gonna go see about getting that water.
Okay. Thank you, Amy. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I'm just gonna go get some air. I'll be back.
Right.
Rita, can I take this kettle?
Whatever. Just go ahead.
Well, I can boil a small amount of water with
A
that.
collection of stuff Rita has taken off people in order to help her sister.
But I'm not sure how robbing us blind helps her sister.
A few odds and ends on this shelf, but nothing too interesting.
I think that the writers are trying to turn her around into... trying to turn around the character and say, oh, she's not so bad after all, she was just helping her sister. But that's just committing... Well, I'd say crimes, but this is a lawless area. This is sinning against people for the benefit of those that are close to you. And I don't think that's the defining trait of a good person.
Cleaning products. Detergent, soap, distilled water. I probably shouldn't drink this, but I'll take a jug.
We've got water? Jug of water, wonderful.
Nothing in there that...
How am I going to heat it, though?
I'll just fill it about halfway.
Okay, we've got a kettle with water in.
I haven't got...
The only fire I'm aware of is, and I'm sorry to say this because it's pretty macabre, the only source of fire I'm aware of is that stack of burning bodies that was near us when we first came into the quarantine zone. I mean, I suppose that would technically work, but it's a pretty horrible thought.
They're empty.
I suppose there's a kind of very, very twisted beauty in it, in the sense that life is coming from death, but still pretty awful to think about.
Ugh, this isn't the way I was hoping to do this.
No. The little puff of steam coming out of the kettle. Oh. Still, we've got the boiling water.
Even though this place is wrecked, the shelves are all decently stocked.
That is a little odd. I suppose most of these things weren't things that people wanted. Ooh! Something that could have happened is that if this is close to ground zero, is most of the people that were actually here at the time when the bomb fell could have died. Then again, if they were so close that they died, why wasn't the supermarket entirely destroyed? That doesn't quite figure. Like, if someone was in the supermarket when the bomb fell, would they have died? Well, the point I was going to make is I wonder if...
Looks like this used to be a display for soup cans. There's still a few left.
Interesting. I was thinking, I wonder if after the bombs dropped, there weren't many people actually living in this specific area, because most people died, and perhaps due to radioactive fallout or something, people were reluctant to come here until the aristocracy decided to turn it into a quarantine zone. Oh, because, you know, it was like the part of town, the part of the city that no one ever visits anyway. That could explain why there hadn't been much scavenging going on here. I remember Denby saying that he came to the quarantine zone to scavenge because most of it hadn't been picked clean like most other areas. And then you would have a much smaller number of people who can't leave the area, potentially looting things, and perhaps a lot of those things just weren't useful to them. But then again, bottles of clean water? You'd have thought, you know, those would have gone almost immediately. Very odd.
Rita, here. I got you the boiling water.
Great. Ricky, take over here a second.
Ricky.
Hey, thank you for this. I'm sorry about earlier. I'm not normally like that.
Don't worry about it. You were desperate.
Yeah. Anyway, you kept your end of the deal, so here's your crossbow. I had a couple of bolts lying around too. I figure you can use them more than I can.
Thanks. Before I go, my friend is working on a permanent cure for Greenland. That's why I'm here.
Say what?
If all goes to plan, we'll have enough of it to cure everyone soon. You won't have to worry about staying here anymore.
You're telling me this now?
It's not like you were receptive to new information before. Just focus on helping your sister. Once I get back, your family will be safe soon enough.
Thank you, Amy. And good luck.
If her sister's got green lung, I do wonder what that will mean for the baby. That's concerning. Right, we need to leave. We've got the crossbow, we've got bolts. How many bolts, actually? Do we know exactly?
My trusty crossbow. I've got 2 bolts.
Well, we're going to need one of those bolts for this. Let's save, actually, before we try this. And let's hope the incinerator's not on, or it's going to be a... well, we'll land ourselves in quite the unpleasant situation if it is on.
Okay, this is the one shot that really counts.
Nice going.
I think we're ready. Would you do the honors? Thanks for the help, Gordon. I promise this will be worth it.
I believe you. Even if I don't live to see my daughter again, at least I did something at the end.
If they leave that open, people...
No. Gordon, quick! Grab the sides!
Amy! Where are you?
Hanging off the end of the chute!
Stay still, I'm coming!
Oh, that was close. I guess I underestimated the Ministry of Energy.
That door over there? I think that's the way out of here.
You're probably right. Now we just need to figure out how to get over there.
If she was able to stop herself, then I would say she was very irresponsible to not go down the chute slowly and carefully. Also, if she was just hanging off the end over fire, heat rises, it would have been extremely hot where she was. I mean, that's a metal chute. There'd be burning standing there, I'm pretty sure. But over the edge, yeah, wouldn't have... I don't think Amy would have come out of that unharmed.
Looks like a corpse got caught on a hanging rope. Or maybe that was someone else who tried to escape. It's just out of my reach.
Oh, this is horrible.
It's crazy enough that it just might work.
That's why we still had the horrible severed arm on us.
Here I go.
Amy! Are you okay?
I'm fine. Now I just need to figure out a way to get you over here. I really hope we don't end up like this. The rope he's attached to still looks sturdy.
Excellent.
This rope is still in good condition. I just need to untangle it.
Again, it wouldn't be in good condition if it was hanging over a fire for any length of time.
Right. One bolt on a rope. Coming up.
Right, so that's our second bolt that we're about to lose. But if that person had got caught on the rope when they were falling... Oh, sorry, had grabbed onto the rope as they were falling... I don't see why they couldn't have swung over there. In fact, I thought they only threw bodies down the chute. I thought they didn't bother with living people. Because if they were going to do something as horrible as that, then they would just do it, wouldn't they? They wouldn't bother with the quarantine zone at all.
I can't go around shooting people.
I don't want you to shoot him. I was hoping that'd be enough of a prompt, since I can't seem to shoot the ceiling.
Gordon, watch your head.
That's what I was thinking.
Nice! I sure hope I can do this.
As do I.
Phew, that was a close one.
Can we get the rope back? Oh, for goodness sake, you would not leave a rope like this. I also don't know why she never recovers her bolts. You think she would. Interesting, not manned.
There.
Thanks. Do you have any idea where we're going?
Not yet, but if we're in a subway tunnel, we should be on the right path back outside the quarantine zone.
That's a good point. Not necessarily true, mind you. Because of course there was the subway tunnel by Wallis, for example. I'm not suggesting that's where we ended up, but we know that, for example, there used to be subway tunnels throughout the city. This could just be a chunk of a section of uncollapsed tunnel that we weren't otherwise aware of. That is, Amy wasn't aware of in some other part of the city. But it's not a bad guess either.
It hasn't run in years from the look of it. There doesn't seem to be any way to get inside.
Interesting. Wait, the cart that went across to the quarantine zone, that wasn't part of the subway system, was it? That was just a separate track. So no, I take it back. I'm not sure it necessarily does follow that because we found a bit of uncollapsed subway system, we're making our way out of the quarantine zone. The thing that means that we're probably heading out of the quarantine zone is the fact that we made it out of the furnace into what you would assume is part of the Ministry of Energy's facility, and there's no reason why they'd want their workers, if they were going to maintenance a furnace or something like that, to have to go through the quarantine zone if they could help it.
I doubt these have seen much use lately. Lost cat, cupcake, reward offered. Something tells me it's way too late for that. We're almost out of here. Just need to find a way to get past that rubble.
You say get past the rubble.
It's loose, but way too heavy for me to move on my own.
Well, there is 2 of you.
What do you know? It still works. Too bad it's useless to me. Wow, what a relic. People actually used to use these things?
What was it for? Buying tickets?
It stopped at 2:45.
Ooh. I'm going to add that to my notes. If we go back to one of my very first notes. In fact, it was my first note, I think. November 9th, 20 years ago. I think we can add 2:45 question mark. We don't know for certain. It could be that it stopped when the power ran out, for example, much later on. But it's not inconceivable that it stopped as the blast fell.
It's loose. Gordon?
Hmm?
Could you help me move this rubble?
Can you help me move that rubble?
I can give it a try.
Oh, let's hope this doesn't fall on either of us.
On my count, pull as hard as you can. 1, 2, 3! Nothing. Damn. We just don't have enough leverage to move these things.
Why do you still have that horrid arm on you? Let's head back. Maybe there was something else in this room that I missed? Now I know that what...
Hopefully I have no need to go back there.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, now that I know what I'm looking for, I wonder if we could take some of the part of the metal... oh, what's it called? I can't think of the proper word. The metal bridge. Gangway? I think that's something different though. To use as a lever, but perhaps not.
It's a tiny little crawl space that goes underneath the walkway. I can't get to it with that debris in the way. No way I'm strong enough to move that. A pretty big chunk of debris. I hope these tunnels aren't prone to tremors.
That would be unfortunate. Although, I imagine if the tunnels were prone to tremors, then the whole city would be. So I'd imagine you would know.
Gordon?
Hmm?
Can you move that debris?
Gordon, could you help me move that debris?
No problem. There you go.
Thanks.
Wonder what's under here.
There's a rusty metal bar in here. Might be good for something.
Well, hey! That'll be the lever we need. We might also be able to get on the train now.
I don't see how I can use that there.
Smash the window, unlock the door. But okay. Guess there's no need. I was just thinking you could search for more supplies. You don't know when that was last in use. There might be useful stuff on there. In there. Good thing you got out of the way.
Let's keep going.
Wait, how did the Ministry get out of there then? Oh, this does go back to Waller's.
Well, how about that?
You know where we are?
I do. And it's time I told you something.
What?
Remember I said I had seen a permanent cure for green lung? There's a doctor waiting at the top of this building. He's got the cure. and he asked me to find someone who's terminal to be a test subject. I volunteered myself, but I still need to help him get his research for mass-producing the cure once it's been tested, which is another issue entirely. I'm sorry I didn't mention all this before, but I wanted to be sure we could escape first. I know it's a lot to take in.
What would I have to do?
I'm not entirely sure. The doctor will be able to explain it to you. We don't know what the side effect might be, and there's a chance it might not even work. But we have to try. Do you want to go through with it?
Amy, you've given me a second chance. I'll do anything to help cure Green Lung.
Great. It's just up these stairs.
Amy, you're back.
And I brought a friend. Come on in, Gordon.
Is that?
Dr. Edwin Aquino. Pleasure to meet you.
You're the Reaper?
You didn't tell him?
I didn't think he'd believe me.
Fair enough. Yes, the Reaper is a persona I created in order to do my work in secret. What's really important is that you've volunteered to test my Green Lung cure. I cannot thank you enough, and I'm sure the entire population will feel the same way once they've been cured.
So what is it you need me to do?
I'll explain everything, but first, there's another matter I need to take care of. You said you were able to get the servos?
I've got them right here.
Good. How long do you think it will take to repair the birds?
Less than an hour.
Excellent. I'm going to take our friend into the next room and get him started on the treatment. I'll be back in a while to see how you're doing.
Okay, we'll get to work then.
Follow me, if you would.
I think that should do it.
Perfect. We have one Raven for each floor of the tower. We should be able to locate my research in no time.
Wow, we can control more than one of them at the same time? That's pretty impressive. Unless they're quite autonomous. Which is impressive on its own, if true. But in a different way.
And now we watch and wait. Aha, there. Through that window. Can you see?
Yes, a bookcase being guarded.
It's on the 36th floor. Now we just have to determine how you're going to get into the tower.
I thought you said you had one Raven for each floor.
I know someone who's pretty good at figuring out ways to sneak into government buildings.
Then I wish you luck, Amy. I'll be keeping an eye on you with the Ravens. If you need anything, I'll be here. Oh, and might I suggest leaving that arm with me? It would help my research and, frankly, draw less attention to you.
Of course. Here.
Right, update my notes. Yeah, that wasn't 36 Ravens I saw leave just then. So I'm not quite sure how there's a 36th floor and yet he had one Raven for every floor. Unless they don't start up at ground floor and then first floor and so on. Harvest servos from hobby shop. Done. Bring someone back from quarantine zone. Done. Get stolen stuff back. Done. Wonderful. Actually accomplishing quite a lot. We should check on Gordon before we leave. Okay, we can't. Well, this has changed. Oh, Danton. That'll be the one.
Danton?
I've made an alliance with the Reaper. I need help getting into Tiberius's tower.
I'm breaking into Tiberius's tower. Can you help me?
Come again?
He's got the research to mass produce a cure for Green Lung. We have to get it.
Are you sure? Are you absolutely sure?
I've been working with the doctor who developed it. He used to work for the Ministry of Medicine, but when he found out they were hoarding vaccine, he went rogue.
Sounds like a good man. Why haven't I heard of him before?
Surely you've heard of the Reaper. He created the disguise to work in secret.
This is perfect. The opportunity to strike is finally here.
Danton, wait. She tells you the Reaper is a doctor, and you're just going to spring an attack? We don't have enough men or supplies to do this safely. We could lose everything.
If we don't act now, we've already lost everything. How can you say no? We'd thwart Tiberius and Pure Greenlung in one night.
Because we can't do it. Danton, this isn't a game. People will die.
You think I treat this like a game? It's because of me.
Both of you, stop! No wonder this revolution hasn't gone anywhere. What would we need in order to mount an effective assault on the Ministry of Energy?
We need to find an access point to sneak in. Going through the front doors would be suicide. Some way of approaching the tower from above, or even underground, would be ideal. We also need to find a way to lure the guards at the base of the tower outside.
Yes, that's perfect. If we distract them, we can ambush them and weaken their defenses.
Okay, so a way in and a distraction. I'm on it.
Good. We'll begin preparing the troops.
Right. Find distraction for guards. And find access path that isn't front door. I take it the whole finding proof that finding proof that they've been hoarding vaccine is no longer the priority then. Any ideas on what I can use for a distraction?
So we need a distraction. What do you suggest?
My thought would be to have a group of people show up. That would keep the guards' hands full while we close in on them.
Yes, I like that idea, but we can't spare any of ours. We need them for the ambush.
If you know a bunch of folks who'd be willing to demonstrate in front of the tower, that would certainly be an option.
Any ideas on how we can find a way in?
Do either of you have an idea on how to find a way into the tower?
The more I think about it, it seems like a better idea to get in from underground. I know there used to be a system of tunnels around the center of the city before the bombs, but I don't know how accessible they are now. If we could find someone with a working knowledge of those tunnels, we'd be set.
Time for me to go. Be careful.
If you need a place to hide, you can always come back here.
Alright, well I think I can make those two things happen. I am worried that the demonstrators will get fired upon. But, we can give it a go. Well, train, we could find out
So you're back.
if the woman, since we don't know her name, knows about the tunnels.
Excuse me.
What?
Is there an underground access to the Ministry of Energy?
Do you know if there's underground access to the Ministry of Energy?
Of course. One of the subway lines ran right underneath the tower. You're not planning on sneaking in there, are you?
I am, actually.
What on earth for?
It's a long story, but I need to get something from inside, and I can't go through the front door.
Huh. Well, I'm not gonna ask any questions, but if you're set on it, give me a second. I'll be right back. Here you go. It's not to scale, but if you follow this map, it should take you to where you want to go.
Thanks.
I hope you know what you're doing.
I'll just be on my way.
Alrighty.
Excellent!
It's crudely drawn, but it shows exactly how to get underneath the Ministry of Energy. It's...
Right. Pop would be one person we could go to. Marishka would be another, for the distraction I mean. Oh, the Cathedral of the Reaper, that's also an option. I wonder if they'd go along with it though. Why would they want to demonstrate in front of the Ministry of Energy?
Hey, Jess?
What is it, Amy?
Could you help me with a distraction?
I was wondering if you and your flock could help me.
Of course, Amy. What do you need?
I need to get inside the Ministry of Energy, but to do so, I'll need a distraction. Would you be able to provide one?
A distraction?
Yes. I was thinking if you could stand outside the tower and play music or chant or something.
You disappoint me, Amy. I thought you were better than that.
I didn't mean to offend you. I just thought...
I'm sure you did. In any case, unless the Reaper himself provides guidance on the matter, I won't see my people used as a mere distraction.
I see. Have a good day.
May death come to you swiftly, fellow seeker.
Well, this shouldn't be difficult. Actually, this could go very wrong, because the only way this is going to work is if Dr. Aquino, turns up in his full garb in front of everyone, and that always risks the possibility they see through the disguise. But it's the best idea we have.
Hey, Doctor?
Yes?
What happened with Rita's sister?
Is Rita's sister all right?
She's fine, as is her son. You did well in helping them, Amy. Rita sounded very grateful.
Hopefully they'll be able to get out of there soon.
Yes, hopefully. The quarantine zone is no place for a child.
I need you to come to the Cathedral of St. Stephen.
Can you come with me to the Cathedral of St. Stephen?
What for?
The Reaper cultists aren't cooperating, and I think you might be able to talk some sense into them.
Is this a good idea?
Yes, I think it's about time they realized the truth about things.
Fair enough. I'll meet you there soon.
Oh.
Jess, are you busy?
We just finished our noon prayer. What is it?
I need you outside, right now. Bring the others, it's important.
If this is about your request, use us as a distraction.
Please, just trust me. You and everyone else here, you need to see what's outside.
Fine. Acolytes, Sister Amy has something she wants us all to see.
So, what is it we're supposed to see? It's the Reaper. His worship. He's finally here for us. Oh, blessed day.
Please, your worship, take me first. I'm ready to die.
It will be an honor to die at your hands, your worship.
Enough!
It can't be.
It can, and it is. I'm very sorry to disappoint, but you've all been worshipping a doctor in disguise.
But how can that be? Everyone dies when you're near.
My name is Dr. Aquino. I developed a cure for green lung by studying those who have died from it. This outfit was only intended to scare people away. I had no idea it would have such an effect on all of you.
I saw you. You were bent over Wilson's body. He had just died. You took his arm.
Yes, I remember you. You stared at me, and I was afraid you would approach. I am sorry for the trickery. I had no idea this would happen.
So what do we do now? I was ready to die with you, you imposter!
Just kill me. Kill me now.
Everyone, just stop. Don't you get it? He has a cure for green lung. Nobody has to die anymore. Nobody.
Wow.
She speaks the truth. All I need to cure everyone are my research notes from Tiberius's tower.
We need help sneaking inside. If you can help us distract the guards, we can do it and get what we need.
If we distract the guards, we'll probably die there. How can you tell us we have hope to survive by doing the most dangerous thing possible?
10 minutes ago, you were praying for death. Why not die helping your families, your town, yourselves?
Jess, you've led all these people to believe that there's something better after death, and that there's a promised land. Why not help the world we live in become that promised land?
I'll do it.
Wonderful. Then meet at the Ministry of Energy this evening. We'll do all we can to keep you safe. Amy, I'll see you once you've gotten my research.
Count on it. Thank you all. I'll see you tonight.
I appreciate the fact she's been honest. I do worry this may not go as well as she thinks it's going to go. Still. The dice have been cast. We'll have to see how they land.
Danton?
What is it, Amy?
We're ready for the assault.
I've got everything we need to assault Tiberius's tower.
Are you absolutely sure?
Positive. The Reaper cultists will provide the distraction we need, and I've got a map showing how to access the tower from underground.
Excellent. We have no time to lose. Bruce, go get Amy those bolts from the weapons cache. She'll need as many as we can spare.
I really hope you know what you're doing.
Don't mind him, Amy. He doesn't fully understand the importance of this opportunity. You've done well. Soon, the aristocracy will be remembered as nothing more than a bad dream.
Here, this should be enough to keep you safe.
Thanks.
Good. Bruce, you'll lead the ambush team. Amy and I will follow her map and enter the tower from below. Once the distraction is in place, I want you to unleash hell. The aristocracy must feel the sting of our blades.
Don't worry, we'll have you covered.
Good luck to you. I look forward to celebrating our victory.
Likewise.
Here, according to the map, we should be right underneath the tower.
I can't see any way to get inside.
There has to be. I'll have a look around.
Well, there's what could be a hatch and a ladder up there. Trapdoor and a switch. Actually, thinking about it, it's not that unreasonable to think if they cured everyone of green lung that the aristocracy would crumble. I mean, not directly, they'd still have access to men and resources for a while. But it's, as I mused about in our previous 2 streams, it seems like it's the fear of green lung and the promise of being cured, which is, or at least vaccinated, protected from immediate death, which is primarily supporting the aristocracy. Take that support away and people may be pretty unhappy to put up with their shenanigans.
Danger. Do not walk on the tracks. Risk of injury or death. I hardly think that applies anymore. We're definitely not going that way. It's still on. I guess it's connected to the ministry somehow. It seems to be connected to the ladder.
Well,
my trusty crossbow.
How many bolts?
I've got a lot of bolts.
I guess that means effectively infinite for now.
Nice work. This should be a good way in.
Are you ready?
Yes. Head up and see where the trapdoor leads. I'll radio Bruce and make sure everyone is in position.
Right.
Oh, I wonder if they brought Danton with us, that is the game devs, so that she could make
Rejoice, rejoice, for the Reaper is near. Soon this life will be but a memory, and the spoils of the Promised Land will be everyone's for the taking. Brothers and sisters, join me in adoration of our Savior.
Here now, this is private property. You'll need to take your celebrations somewhere else.
But, brother, our mission is to spread the word of the Reaper across the land.
Be that as it may, you are not allowed to gather here. Please disperse at once.
Ah, you are fortunate. You will soon know the Reaper. How I envy you.
What are you...
What the? Sounds like some kind of commotion outside. Come on, you'd better check it out.
Inside the belly of the beast at last. Disgusting. We'll have much to change when we come into power. Right. Enough dawdling. We need to get moving. Lead the way, Amy.
Such as a statue of yourself instead of Tiberius, I imagine. Yeah, I wonder if the reason the game devs decided to have Danton come with us is so that she can heroically sacrifice her life for us right at the end or something.
Wonder how long these'll last. This thing is definitely not going to survive the revolution.
Let's go!
Come on, the elevators are this way.
There could still be guards in here, though. In fact, there almost certainly are.
We're getting through that elevator. I suggest you surrender now. Fine. We'll do this the hard way then.
Blimey.
Thanks for the help. He was a tough one.
Don't mention it.
I finally get to take a look at this photograph, which I, in the very first stream, walked past and then regretted.
That photo gives me chills. The plaque underneath says, "Last day, always remembered." I really don't like looking at this. Some old guy. The plaque underneath says Caligula.
There'll be time for breaking things later. We need to move.
It's the Constitution that was drafted in order to form the aristocracy.
We'll light our victory stars with this. The time to destroy the relics of the old government will come soon enough. For now, we need to stay focused.
You shouldn't destroy them, you should save them for the historical record.
The banner has got the Ministry of Energy's symbol on it.
Soon it will never be seen again.
Again. Interesting symbol for the Ministry of Energy. Because it doesn't look like one of those neo-Gothic letters. It's almost like a sort of abstract representation of a circuit diagram. Like, you couldn't actually interpret that as a circuit diagram, but it's almost like it's trying to resemble one without being one.
There's not much I can do with the banner. Brutal. There's nothing I can do for him.
No.
There's nothing...
Can't take the hat? Guess not. Let's go. So, there'll be a soothsayer.
Dr. Aquino said the research was kept on the 36th floor, so that's our next stop.
Oh, of course, we're not going all the way to the top. I thought taking care of Tiberius might be a good idea, but suppose it's not strictly necessary. At least not yet.
How are you feeling?
Just fine.
Just fine? You're not scared or worried or anything?
I've been scared too much of my life, Amy. So has everyone else. It's why we're in this situation.
We could die today, you know.
Maybe, but my last moments will be spent ridding the world of tyranny.
If anything happens, I have this car I'm fixing. Could you make sure my friend Gordon gets it?
Of course. In the event of my passing, return my hat to Bruce. Our mother will need to know.
Sure.
Oh, Bruce is the brother. Oh, I think we already knew that. Okie doke, should be at least...
Is that what you're looking for over there?
Yes, but when I saw it at Dr. Aquino's, it was being guarded.
Something about this doesn't feel right. See what you can find. I'll cover you from here.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Is that this city? The skyline looks so different. I don't think that would be a good idea. Some government document, probably establishing new laws or something. I have a more pressing matter to deal with right now. Seems to be some kind of maintenance panel for the elevator.
Interesting.
A young man. His eyes are blank. That's creepy. An old man. He must have been pretty important. A woman. The face is so detailed. I wonder how long it took to carve this. I can't reach...
Anything else in here worth
Looks pretty comfortable.
Examining before we interact with the bookshelf?
Unfortunately, now is not the time to sit down.
What are they going to do? Is there another way into this room that we can't see due to the camera? Like behind the camera? Because in theory they could have guards in... They could have guards that are in fortified positions pointing their rifles at the bookshelf, which wouldn't quite be able to see Danton and Amy where they're standing now.
No, no!
What's the matter?
There's nothing here! Dr. Aquino's notebook is gone.
No, that can't be. It can't just have vanished. Tiberius must have taken it somewhere else. We'll find
destroyed it.
We'll make him tell us where it is. Come on, we've just got a few floors left to go.
Right, so that is the way this is going.
All right, let's keep heading up.
Right behind you.
That means they know to expect us, though.
I can't wait to see the look on Tiberius's face when...
If I were you, I'd have your
Damn,
crossbow
the elevator
out.
Stopped. They must have realized where we are. We've got to get out of here. We're sitting ducks. I'm gonna try and pry the door open. Maybe we can escape that way.
Not a brilliant way to escape, to be honest.
I can't quite...
Ah, excellent. We can climb up to the next floor and figure out a way to keep going from there.
Oh, no help there then.
We're stuck between floors. Pressing buttons won't...
Why was the door open?
More guards? Just what is Tiberius afraid of? No matter.
Danton, wait!
Stand down, wighead scum!
Well, we know what to do here.
Nice going, Amy. You'd make your father proud.
Yes.
I'd better not mess with it. A lady wearing a fancy hat. The plaque at the bottom says, Livia McDowell, 2017 to 2052.
So that was at least 18 years before the bombs fell.
A lady wearing a fancy hat.
Interesting.
It's the elevator maintenance panel. It's some kind of fancy cabinet.
Oh, the maintenance panel.
I don't see...
But if they stopped it before, can't they just stop it again?
Okay, shouldn't be much further now. Are you ready?
Just 1 second. I need to check in with Bruce. Bruce, come in, Bruce. Do you copy? There's a lot of dead down there. Hard to tell from up here, but I think they're mostly guards. We need to move. They'll be coming for us. Come on, let's go.
What? Who are...
Where is Tiberius? And where is he keeping the green lung research?
You're Danton.
At your service. I won't ask politely again. Where is Tiberius and where is he keeping the research?
He's up those stairs. He has the research with him. He was planning on using it as a bargaining chip. But please, have mercy. Tiberius is not well. He believes things are not as they are.
What are you talking about?
I took advantage of his weaknesses. I have not been honest with him about my abilities.
A fraud psychic. How original.
I am not proud of what I have done. Please, I beg of you, spare my life. I promise to atone for my mistakes. But I implore you, be gentle with Tiberius. He doesn't understand the truth.
This guy's a real piece of work. What do you think, Amy? Should we spare him?
Oh, the problem is... Although it seems like the goodly thing to do to spare him, I'm not sure we can risk it. Because we don't have the manpower to arrest him right now. Unless one of us stayed behind to keep an eye on him. Does anyone know, for example, that we've made it up to Tiberius, or very close to where Tiberius is? I mean, they would know that that's a risk, something they have to try to guard against, but has anyone actually, you know, for example, any guards at the bottom realised we're up here? I don't think they have, and he could just run down and tell them. And that's assuming he can't get a hold of a weapon, for example, a concealed weapon in this room. We'll spare him. It will show the right message. The fact that we're not... I may regret this, but... it will demonstrate that we're not just bloodthirsty murderers. We are only killing where absolutely necessary.
Yes, he spent many years advising Tiberius. He might be of some use to us.
Very well. Leave now. We'll talk later.
Thank you.
Come on, we're almost done.
I hope I don't regret that.
Do not fret, we aren't in any danger. The rebels will be defeated. Soon things will go back to exactly as they were, and it will be as though none of this ever happened. I love you too, son.
Tiberius, Your time is nearly over.
Ah, you must be the elusive Danton. And Miss Weller, you're still alive.
No thanks to you.
Esteemed guests, how lovely of you to break into my home. What is it you want?
We're putting an end to your reign, Tiberius. This all ends right here, right now.
Why are you talking?
How cute of you! Do you think you can waltz in here and fix this city's problems simply by killing me?
It's a start.
Do you really think the aristocracy will end with me? That it cannot function on its own?
A government has no strength without its head. I'm taking over.
Oh? And how do you intend to do that?
By becoming you.
What?
I will wear your mask and clothes. I will become the new Tiberius. Then I will bring down the aristocracy from the inside.
How delightfully idealistic! Tell me, how much blood will stain your hands in pursuit of this goal?
Less than yours.
And if you do manage to bring about this change you so desire, how will you handle the plague or outside forces who wish to attack?
Green lung won't be a problem for much longer. We know you've got the research to mass produce a cure. Your old friend, Dr. Aquino, will see to that.
Just give him more information.
Yes, he's the Reaper.
Oh, for goodness sake.
It makes perfect sense. I think this little charade has gone on long enough.
I couldn't agree more.
No! Watch where you... My boy. My sweet, wonderful boy. How could you? You detestable hag! Do you realize what you've done? Oh, my beautiful boy! My only son!
That thing is your son?
Hold your tongue, or I will feed it to the ravens, Willard!
So that's what the soothsayer meant when he said, oh, God.
Do you see, Tiberius? This is the real world. Your family is
Grab
dead.
the sword.
The city is a mess. Your delusions hurt everyone around you. Amy, this is up to you. Set your sights on his heart. Go ahead, Amy. Finish him off. Put the pathetic creature out of his misery so we can rebuild.
Miss Willard, you cannot let her be in charge of a new government. She will ruin more than she will build. If you spare me, I will make sure that you and those you hold dear are taken care of. You'll want for nothing. Order must be maintained, but we can make things better. Slowly, peacefully.
You've had 20 years for
Don't listen to any more
that.
of his lies, Amy. Only a flood can fix a drought.
And you've already proven that you, that you're dishonest. That you'll say one thing to my face and then do another thing behind my back. And although I don't like the way Danton's talking, I don't think what she's trying to do will actually work. I also don't think she's justified a bolt to the heart at this point.
This will change nothing.
Good work, Amy. You chose well.
So, what happens now?
We've got a lot ahead of us. It won't be easy. I'll dispose of him, then take the Reaper his research so he can get to work on the cure. From there, we'll figure out who is loyal to our cause and who isn't, and cut down those who oppose us. You did a good job here today, Amy. I thank you for your service.
Not a problem.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have work to do. We'll be in touch.
I'm not convinced you'd be able to hold a government together.
You must be Dr. Aquino. Amy told me all about you.
And you must be Danton. I have to say I'm surprised to see you in Miss Willard's place. Is she all right?
Oh, she's fine. I just felt it was more suitable to return your research myself. After all, we'll be working together to produce this cure.
I only hope there are still people left alive to be cured once all is said and done.
More people live, thanks to me, than would ever flourish under the aristocracy.
Oh, I don't doubt you'll bring change to this city. I just question your methods.
The grass always questions the boulder that rolls quickly down the hill. But soon enough, you'll see how much we grow.
Yes, I hear blood is a phenomenal fertilizer. I'm sure we'll be seeing plenty of it.
Maybe so, but in the end, we'll be free of the aristocracy.
We'll see what happens. At the very least, green lung will be eradicated. Perhaps once the disease is taken care of, you might consider more diplomacy?
I'm not unreasonable. Our ultimate goal is a peaceful existence.
Then at least we can agree to a better future. I think we should part ways for now. There's lots of work to be done.
Good luck to you, Doctor. The Resistance thanks you for your service.
And to you.
November 9th, 21 years since the bombs fell. Danton stuck Tiberius's head over the entrance of the Ministry of Medicine. People waiting in line for their cures were both amazed and terrified.
That's like...
Her revolution against the other ministries had many recruits.
11 months later.
Deaths. Sometimes I wonder if all this bloodshed was worth it. I've lost more friends and loved ones in the past year than I can count.
Oh dear.
But at the same time, they met their ends with pride. They died with dignity. I suppose in this dusty, dying place, that's all you can really ask for.
Chaos, tip your hat to the new revolution. The light shines on, you completed the game.
Blood in the water, souls on the skin. First it's you, the next your kin. Graves in the meadow, piles of bones.
I know it was a risk to leave Danton alive, but I really don't think she'd done anything up to that point that would suggest that we should take her life. But I also don't think it was obvious that she would necessarily become the new power at that point, especially if there were other people that felt that she shouldn't. I'm debating whether I should go back and just for the fun of it see what would happen if we pick the other options. Guess I might as well, since it is a decision right at the very, very end of the game. Interesting that letting the soothsayer live didn't appear to make any difference. Maybe it makes a bigger difference with the other options? Blimey, what are voice actors? Oh no, there are duplicates. Okay. So it's more that they didn't bother grouping the characters together by voice actor. Freddy was voiced by Dave Gilbert. Wasn't Dave Gilbert the producer on this game? Interesting, not a lot of beta testers, are there? I didn't count them, but I'd say that's maybe 24 people? Bonus content unlocked in menu. Interesting. I wonder what that bonus content is. Dedicated in loving memory of Mercedes Escobar. Oh, bonus content. Concept art, bloopers. Interesting. So that's the one they went with in the end, isn't it? Huh. They ended up quite similar to the final versions. Oh yeah, I see what they've done. They've got the same things, but they've reorganized the space, in particular the negative space, quite a bit. Oh. The aristocracy is a friend of the common people. The aristocracy guiding our youth to a better tomorrow. The government needs you. Sign up today for the vaccine lottery. 2 men who had green lung. He got his vaccine regularly. He didn't. Remember Blast Day. Support the aristocracy and you will be supported. Don't fall for lies and superstitions. The Reaper cult is a farce. There is no Reaper. Styx subway. Interesting. Oh, because the river was running through the subway, so they called it the Styx subway, as in the river Styx from Greek mythology in the underworld. Oh, I may as well look at bloopers. I'm not as interested.
Sounds like a good man. That sounded like I'm a... Sounds like a good man. Sorry, excuse me? Hello, man. A man. Okay. Woo, all right.
Well, you're pretty brave, Tina. You little shit. Okay.
They didn't manage to get very far before being discovered and quelled by the aristocracy. Sugar bombs! Gosh bless it! Golly gee! Okay. It's the best word ever. I would like to change that. She's got a speech impediment. Okay.
Central storage is located to the left of the administrative cafeteria. That's where you're going next. I bet there's something important in there.
I was looking for solace. Last year, I lost my entire family to green lung. I was devastated, Doctor. One day, I was walking through the market district, and you happened to speak to...
Alright, that's okay. Back to business.
The store is located in the quarantine zone. Dun dun.
Coffee. That comes with the Ministry of Medicine. We provide all coffee services as they can be enjoyed. That is the way in which one will be able to cure the plague. Nope, nope, nope. You're not allowed to have any. Double espresso shall be provided only to members of the intergovernment.
Would we be able to find one or more in the city? Maybe a Radio Shack or something? Sorry, the Shack.
What did you mean when you said I should shut up?
What? 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 That was great.
What did you mean by telling me to shut the fuck up? Oh my god.
Sputum, yeah. Sputum. Look for green. Sputum. Just like that. Sputum. Look for green. Sputum. Mr. Black.
Oh,
Excellent. Excellent. Marvelous. Fantastic. Fucking A.
Thank you. I was just excited to use the word trollop. Trollop!
What is it, Amy? What is it, Amy? Yes, what is it?
Sorry about any of the strong language there. Although there was a little of that in the game as well. Oh, when's this autosave?
The elevator.
So we could find out what the other endings were.
Okay. Just one. Bruce. We come on.
What? You what type
Yes. Come on.
Do not. I love you.
No. Where?
Do you?
Unfortunately, we can't skip the animations.
Out.
Green. Yeah.
No! Watch where you.
That. Oh. Do your. Go ahead. Don't.
I assume shooting Danton is just bad for everyone other than Tiberius.
No! No! This can't be. You've doomed us all.
Very good, Miss Willard. Now, there is just one last loose end to tie up. I cannot allow you to take those research notes. Allowing them outside the control of the aristocracy is out of the question.
Are you planning to develop a permanent cure?
Given current events, it would be foolish not to. In any case, I am a man of my word. You will receive a dose of the cure as soon as it is available, as well as provided a new home with access to clean water and food. All this, of course, in exchange for your silence. You are not to tell anyone about what you have discovered. Settling any public unrest is already going to be a difficult task. Understand that violation of this agreement will have swift and dire consequences. Do I make myself clear?
Yes. I hope you know what you're doing, Tiberius.
Oh, there's little dusk motes in the air.
Me now. I have much to do. Edwin, you've never looked better.
Julian, I must say I'm surprised to see you. Does this mean Miss Willard?
She's quite all right. In fact, I would argue she's never been better. She's decided to take up my offer of working as a government mechanic.
I see.
As part of the deal, I am to offer amnesty to her friends and loved ones. Your old position at the Ministry of Medicine is available, should you choose to return to it.
Not if you continue hoarding vaccine.
No, those days are past. I'm afraid that unfortunate attempt at an uprising has made me have a change of heart. Your research will be used to mass produce a cure. There are other ways to maintain order.
I'm surprised.
So you want me to work for you again, but you'll produce the cure no matter what?
Correct.
No.
I see. Is that your final word?
You've set fire to this country too many times under my watch, Julian. I'm done. There are other cities out there. Other countries. I'll find my place in one of them. Goodbye, Julian. Give my regards to Miss Willard.
November 9th. 21 years since the bombs fell, and we finally have a cure for green lung. People were celebrating in the streets for days. I've never seen such a desperate line with so many tears being shed. But Tiberius wasn't lying. Now food, water, and housing are even harder to come by. Despite this, I still hear whispers about glorious Tiberius, who saved us all from green lung. My friends and I are taken care of, But everything has changed. We sit down to dinner together and just stare at the food. We don't know what to do with it, how to feel about it. We eat in silence. We try to forget how we earned our place. At night, I pray Dad is still proud of me and the choices I made.
Order. You maintained the status quo. Can I skip the credits? Really? I'm not allowed to skip the credits?
Blood in the water, souls on the skin. First it's you, the next your kin.
I'm really not allowed to skip the credits.
Piles of bones.
Hold up. I'll just close the game then.
Find him in your home.
I'm not a fan of that. Games shouldn't try and force you to watch the credits. Oops. There we go. So, one more ending to take a look at.
Okay, just... come on.
You... What type of...
What... Yes,
Hey.
Come on.
Do not see... I love you.
Time.
No. Is...
Wait.
Do you...
It's...
Do you... Oh.
But...
Out. Tell me. And...
Greenland, we... Yes.
No! What were you... My bad.
That...
Oh. Do your... Go ahead.
Miss, if you will...
Don't...
This will change nothing.
Now, how are you going to reload it without her noticing?
You made the right... Wait. What are you doing?
Saving our country. I'm sorry it had to end this way. For both of you. So,
I
got your research.
Indeed, and so much more. That was quite the impressive display.
So, what happens now?
At the very least, we cure Greenlung. After that, I have no idea.
There's still the other aristocrats to deal with.
Yes, and the question of who will govern the people.
Please stop looking at me like that. I am no leader.
Consider what you've done in the past few weeks. How quickly you've risen. The city needs someone like you, Amy.
I'll do it, but on one condition. I want you to rule with me.
Oh?
Sure. You have connections in the other ministries. Help me take Tiberius's place and convince the remaining aristocrats to form a better government.
Introduce a bit of uncertainty. Are you sure that's what the people will want?
The people want their lives back. I think we can deliver that.
Interesting. I think it will take a lot of work, but we can definitely build a better future for this city. Which reminds me.
What's this?
A carburetor and spark plugs, designed to fit an older model vehicle. They were just laying around.
Oh, blimey. I think this is the canonical ending.
Now I think we should part ways for the time being. We both have a lot of work to do. I should have the cure ready in a few days. I'd be honored if you were my first patient.
It would be my pleasure.
Take care of yourself, Amy.
I thought Gordon was your first patient. How's he doing?
November 9th. 21 years since the bombs fell. Growing up, I thought my biggest headache would be gas leaks and carburetors. Now I worry about national food supplies. Still, it was worth seeing the party in the streets when Greenlung was finally cured. Dr. Aquino is confident our industry will be back in the next 5 years at this rate. I certainly hope so. Sometimes I miss the old days, when I could just fix cars and stop for a chat with my friends. But at least now, when I look out over the market, I can see them all smiling back at me.
Free will, an age of uncertainty, but of happiness. Blimey. So that was all the endings. So, thank you for joining me, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be streaming again tomorrow, in which I will be beginning a game called Techno Babylon, I believe. That's the last of the 3 adventure games I had planned. I don't know much about it other than that it's another dark future adventure game. I think it was also made by the same producer, Wadget Eye Games. A different developer, mind, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, should be interesting. Other upcoming streams will be next Monday and next Friday. If any of that should change for any reason, then I'll announce it online, on social media, which at the moment is X, formerly known as Twitter, Mastodon, Blue Sky, and MetaThreads, and on our Discord server. So once again, thank you for coming, everyone, and I hope you all have a wonderful night. Good night.